Where it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Criminality. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. So today we are we have finally got our schedules aligned again. The stars have aligned for Sleuthy and I to finish off the deposition of Jerry Holeman. So we are going to be finishing that today, but we also lucked out and got an order from the appellate courts of Indiana on some of the exhibits that were supposed to be added. So we're going to touch on that first. The chat is interested, I think, in the HTC versus the objection, Your Honor, situation. So Sleuthy and I were talking offline about, whether we want to kind of dive into that on the channel or not, or just, hit it up on the Twitter. But I just want to kind of preface this by saying, I think that HTC is a liar, and I think she's manipulating the mass public to do her bidding for her, and that's extremely narcissistic. And I think that as having a husband who likes to diagnose people that he's never even had a conversation with, he should probably see the signs in his own wife that she needs help. So
but she only needs help from this crazy stalker. You know what I mean?
Right.
All of her and his high blood pressure and all is not due to the diet that he has. It's all due to this lady.
Right. So there's a lot of weird shit. And I'm going to say hi to you guys in chat real quick, but Carbun is here. And Carbun, I feel like I summoned you because yesterday I was like looking at my subscriptions. I'm like, where the hell has Carbun been? And like now you're here. And so like it's so weird. And I'm so thankful to see you because I literally was just thinking about you. So that's just that's my little sidebar right there. But for the Lauren stuff, I don't know how far I want to go into it. And I'll be, like I said, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I've touched on this very tiny bits on my channel. But I used to co-host another channel that did exactly what Lauren is doing to another creator. Literally took out false restraining orders, claiming that they had a stalker. I mean, it's very reminiscent. And so I firsthand experience with somebody who is very similar to Lauren, and it's actually it piques my anxiety and I just, because it brings back so many bad memories of social media for me that I've really tried to stay away from, as to not trigger me being just angry. But I know a lot of you guys also follow Truth and Transparency, and that my situation is very mixed up in her situation. So if you guys are aware of what she went through, then you know what I'm talking about.
Does anybody want my opinion?
I will always want your opinion, love.
So my thing is, of course, hold on, let me plug this shit in before it dies. Okay. So my opinion is that until Rick's brief is filed, okay, Like, we have this deposition. It would be fucking awesome if we could get a hold of the other law enforcement depositions. But if not, we need something to talk about, okay? Number one. Number two, as somebody who has required an emergency ex parte restraining order from someone who was dangerous and abusive for me and my 2-year-old, and it was still hard, and I had to go through the whole rigmarole of like going into court, testifying right directly in front of the person I was afraid of, retelling the whole story all over again to a judge, crying, trying to convince them that I was scared enough for my life to get a permanent one. When people abuse it, like I believe that Lauren's abusing it, I think that not talking about it and explaining it and putting it out on Front Street, how they are abusing it, allows it to continue to where it makes it more difficult for people who actually need them to obtain them. So she deserves all the smoke. I think that anybody that gets their hands on anything should be putting it out. Every bit of her lying about it. I can't stand it. I cannot stand a fake victim. And if you watched the 9-hour live, you could hear her like try to remember that she has to add that she's feeling physically like threatened or in danger, like in harm,
Yeah.
in danger.
Yeah.
When really what it boils down to is she's in fear of her reputation being burnt to the fucking ground. Okay. That's really all that it is. She's worried about her reputation. She's worried about the hidden germs. She's worried that her whole channel is just going to go kaput because people are going to see what she says about them. And this is
There's
not
a preemptive strike to knock Christina down so that nobody will listen or believe her because Lauren has her 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Chasing Christina off the internet.
Yeah.
To shut her up. That is
Yeah.
literally what this is.
Like don't get me wrong, there's a platform, there is a time and a place for what she wants to actually do. Getting a restraining order as someone that's in fear for their life is not it. That's not it.
Correct.
She should be suing her, like in civil court.
So that's why I said, so Sleuthy and I have been talking offline, and I do have the audio from the hearing. I put it in the editor to clean it up, so I'll probably post that at some point. And Sleuthy and I, like I said, we've been talking offline about what we're, about covering it, not covering it. By no means do I want to sit around and listen to a 9-hour live with you guys. So what I would prefer to do is break it down by part and compare it to what Christina has.
It's a lot of repetition. She
It is
repeats a lot of the same things.
Yeah. So I mean that takes some time on my end or Sleuthy's end, and we just really haven't been able to put that together. So I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know what we'll end up doing with it, or if it'll just end up being on Twitter Space, like I said. So, but a lot of people have been talking about it, asking my opinion. So I just figured I'd put my opinion out, ask Sleuthy's opinion, let her put her opinion out. I think that people need to be very cautious on the internet, and this is something I give a lot of grace to, because I feel like people who have just gotten into like the true crime genre of social media don't really recognize when they're being lied to and manipulated. Mm-hmm. Because they just think like, oh my gosh, I like true crime and I want to come online and talk to people about true crime and look at all these cool people that I have met. And they don't see what's actually happening in aligning people to essentially go after other people on the internet. Like, you don't really know that you're a part of that until it's too late. Mm-hmm. So my words of wisdom from my years on true crime social media is to always stay cautious. Don't give up who you are as a person for somebody that you met on the internet. And always know that people who are telling you to believe them have an agenda, in order to get you to believe them? Like why do they need that so badly? Like, because at the bottom line is, I know the truth about my life, and what people on the internet think about my life is not relevant to me. But 5 years ago it was, and that was something I had to learn the hard way. So I just want people to be cautious and stay true to who you are. Don't buy into other people's bullshit, because once you get a mass of people, just because there's more of them doesn't make what they're saying true.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
Like CH just said, and really that's what I think it boils down to, because she left out, and we were talking about this before we came on this. She left out in her 9 hours that she did have a hearing, and the October 16th hearing was the next hearing. Like, it was continued to the 16th. So she left that out, that they had a hearing and they were going to have another hearing. Instead, it was framed as though this is our first ever hearing since getting my temporary restraining order, and I had to not follow through with it because Long Crime was going to put it on the TV. Okay.
Lies.
Right. They had a hearing. I guess she didn't want people to know what the judge said. CH says, in the words of the judge, a stalking injunction is not a remedy for shutting down speech. It seems like that's what you're trying to do in this case. And I'm here to tell you that I would bet you Brad Weber's lone remaining thumb toe that that she and her attorneys heard this and was like, bitch, it's not going to happen. Like, you're going to be fucking embarrassed. Yep. See, he doesn't really have much to spare. Okay. And I would bet it away.
It's a hardcore bet right there.
Yeah. That they looked at each other and was like, not going to happen. And Long Crime is going to record it, blah, blah, blah. You might as well just drop it. Because that's better than going and losing.
And everybody knowing every fucking thing you said.
Yep. So she did 9 hours of just her side, framing it exactly how she wanted to frame it, so she could cry, so she could be angry, so she could read all the declarations, so she could show you all of her evidence only, and nobody got to see the other side.
Correct.
And I'm going to try to get the other side. That's what I'm trying to do. If I can get the other side, then I think we should cover it, because that's what I want to know. I want to see. I want to know all the stuff Christina had.
Well, that's kind of exactly it. Like, why I'm like, everybody on, and their mother is online talking about this crap right now. She's getting so much attention, which is ultimately what she wants, is the attention and people to, like, what did she say to Turtle Boy after Turtle Boy made a post about her? She was like, we'll agree to disagree.
She was sucking his balls.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree, but like, thank you for everything you did for Karen Reed. I'm just like, yeah, she's shit talking Gigi from Pretty Lies and Alibis.
She was sucking his balls. So she shared a article that someone wrote that says, when the spotlight turns back, reflections on Lauren Mathias's 9-hour live stream, blah, blah, blah. So basically, when you try to tell your truth and it turns on you, okay? And Aiden commented on it and said, you are not a victim. And Lauren said, we can agree to disagree. Thanks for all you did for Karen Reed. Also, my husband ordered me the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, during this hard time. I recall thinking, Turtle Boy models this. Channel my inner turtle boy, and then a turtle emoji. And he said, not the response I was expecting. However, a great way to not give a fuck is to ignore people when they use social media to criticize you, rather than doing what you did, weaponizing the courts to silence protected speech of your critics. I also want to share briefly, this is me talking, the Turtles tweet from that day. It's a photo of her, and it says, the more I listen to this woman, the more I realize that she's not only psychotic, she's also a huge, in all capital letters, piece of shit. Lauren Mathias is not only a fake victim, she has weaponized her fake victimhood to send a mob to attack a completely innocent woman. What's really disgusting is that people like Duty Ron use their platform to continue to spread lies because they're too gutless to call a crying woman a liar. Now, right. I'm friends with Duty Ron. I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while, but like, I am friends. I used to go up there with him and talk to him and Ed and stuff. And I think that Aiden hit the nail on the head when he said that basically she went to him as a friend, and she was crying and telling only her side of the story, and he was like, this is my friend, so she is likely telling me the truth, and then went on with that. Like, I don't think at all that he did any type of research into it, because she was
But
coming
then
to him as her
don't
friend.
talk about it.
I mean, I
Okay,
do
so
agree.
I like Duty Run. I always have, but I really actually like Ed Wallace,
Yeah.
but that's neither here nor there. But my problem with these channels that are ex-law enforcement, like Duty Ron, Profiling Evil, what's the other one with Chris McDonough?
Who's the Bill, whatever? Because I always
All
told
these
Ron I
guys,
didn't fucking like him. What
well,
was
all
it?
these guys that are like, we investigated crimes, like this is what we did. And then shit like this happens,
Oh,
and
he beat
they
it.
don't investigate anything. They just believe the person who has more subscribers, because then they can keep their subscribers that are for both channels, their mutual subscribers, from getting pissed off at them, because Christina doesn't have anybody following her. She doesn't mean anything to them. Just
And
like when this happened to me, I had nobody. And
right.
all of those cops that investigate shit, who want to know the truth, never once asked what actually happened. They believed the person who had the subscribers to share with them. And it disgusts
That's
me
sad, man.
that you are supposed to be a cop. My dad was a cop, so I take that shit really fucking serious.
Yeah.
You do not get on here and claim to be somebody who solved crimes, investigated crimes, any of that shit, and then if you don't know and you just want to be a supportive friend, just, that's fine. Go, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Do not fucking go live and talk about it like you have a clue of what the truth is. It is bullshit. And all it shows me is that you do not care about the truth. You care about the money. And I don't want to listen to you anymore. So people like that, I unsubscribe from. Like, go
Man,
fuck
that makes me
yourself. I
sad.
want nothing to do with you, because I want to know what actually fucking happened. And you are part of the problem and not part of the solution. So fuck off.
You know, something else that the turtle said that I was like, nail, meathead again, was that I guess someone said something about her. She's now going to say that he is also stalking her or whatever. And he was like, she's not going to fuck with me because I have a huge platform. She fucks with little people that have little platforms. And in
Right.
my experience, that's exactly what has happened. You know, it's funny because when this
Exactly.
9-hour live went out, what was the first thing I said? This bitch is letting all these people
Yep.
restream this live. But I did a 2-part review of her interview with this asshole whose deposition we're finna finish today, and paused it every minute and a half. It took us 2 sessions of like 4 hours each to finish a 1-hour interview. That's how much commentary we added. And that bitch copyright struck me, a smaller channel. She
Not even just
Joe
copyright
Smith.
struck on YouTube. She tried to take you to the copyright board.
Bro, she filed an actual, listen, people don't know this because I basically dropped it. Like, because I was like, it literally, I have so much shit to do of a day that I have no time to be arguing with her to the copyright board. I just don't care enough. I said everything I wanted to say. Everyone that was really going to watch it was there watching it when we did it. So, like, I'm not going to bother with it. This bitch filled out. I should pull it up one
We
day.
have
I'm
the
gonna have to
audio
go.
too. We have the audio.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go find it because she literally put in there. And that's why I found it so funny in her 9-hour live that she was like reading Susan Hendricks's letter or whatever. And she's like, that's true. Criticize me, criticize my work all you want. And I thought, what? You literally wrote in your complaint against me that I was criticizing you and I was encouraging people not to go watch your shit because I was criticizing you. So what are you talking about? She's just gross. She
This is
attacks
all about the
smaller
attention.
channels.
That's all it is. She's
Blech.
like, let them spread, all these people playing it, let them spread awareness about the fact that I have a stalker.
Yeah.
And people will feel bad for me because I'm a manipulative bitch. Like, that's how it goes.
All right. People are coming here for one thing, and they're getting
I know.
confused. And I think they're
So
leaving
anyway, I
because we're
apologize.
rambling.
I know. Well, like
It's
I said,
hard not to.
that's kind of why I wanted to just touch on it, because people in chat keep bringing it up. That's my opinion on it. We'll probably dive further into it. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know.
Bro, if I get Christina's...
I don't want her to have any other attention than she deserves. So if I do it, I want to make sure I do it the way that it needs to be done, which is to make sure that the truth, which is what Christina also has to say, is not, and not just what Lauren has to say. And I'm not going to just sit around and spread Lauren's lies.
Yep. I'm here to tell you, if I get my hands on Christina's stuff, I'm putting it all out there. If I'm going to do it here, if I'm going to do it on my Twitter, if I'm going to do it on my own channel, I'm putting it out there, because I'm not just going to have only her stuff be out there. That's bullshit.
That's exactly
that
it.
was what she wanted.
I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, 20 minutes in, I think that's enough of that. Thank you guys for being here and coming to watch the end of Jerry Holeman's deposition. I wish it was the end of Jerry Holeman. But I do have a friend of mine who has done some legal things behind the scenes to try to get us some more depositions. So that's kind of the hope, is to that maybe we can get some more released from the courts. That, what does that mean? Redactions? Not, I don't know. So hopefully we'll be able to see those at some point in time. But let's talk first about the Court of Appeals today.
Andy Baldwin, if you're listening, just give us the Frank's memo stuff, please. The exhibits, they're public record, please. Hand them over.
So yesterday, for you guys that are aware, are kind of paying attention to the timelines.
What is the speech bubble?
Shit, I have no fucking idea. Where'd that come from?
I have no idea. It's not on mine.
Well, I don't know. Did somebody put it there?
What is that? Does it say something?
Where did I get this from?
I have no idea. You didn't get it from me.
Oh, I think I got it from Tammy. I have no idea why there's a speech bubble there.
Who did that?
It's the date it was filed.
Why would it be in a speech bubble?
I'm sorry.
It's very distracting. Please scroll past it.
It's been tampered with. I think it just came from Tammy. I feel like I downloaded it straight from the link she sent me.
Tammy, you need to check your PDF. What is that?
I have no idea. All right.
Is that like
it now?
I know. It's like our murder sheet when they stamped everything murder sheet real big across the whole entire document.
It like highlights the date that it was filed.
Is that our watermark?
No. Maybe it's Tammy's watermark. I don't know. I didn't even notice it until you brought it up. Now I can't look at it.
How? It's bright fire engine red.
Because I don't know. Just scroll past it. All right, it's gone. Okay.
I still see the border.
So yesterday was the deadline for it's kind of confusing. Let me try to make it as simple as I can. You have a simple way to say it. Yesterday was the deadline for the appellate attorneys to have turned in their appellate brief, but they had filed for these continuances, and in one of the continuances had essentially said, hey, this transcript that you guys provided, Jody, is not accurate, and it's missing all the exhibits, essentially from the Frank's memo back in September of 2023.
And
yes.
And the motion to correct error exhibits. Funny, the only two things where all the exhibits are not there.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, what's happening is the appellate attorneys got denied this, and they were like, "Nah, fuck that." So they took it to. I'm gonna have to scroll up. Just close your eyes real quick, Sleuth. Just close your eyes.
Oh, God.
No, to the Court of Appeals of Indiana. Okay.
You didn't remember that?
I did. I just wanted to show them. Wanted to show them that that's who it's from.
Like, that's it.
And they said, yeah, Jody and Judge Gull, you assholes, you need to put all of the exhibits from all of these motions into your transcript. Otherwise, your transcript is considered incomplete. And now you have 20 days to do that. So they have 20 days to gather all the exhibits that they did not want to add because they weren't important to Judge Gohl.
That's too
So
many days.
it's going to be interesting because from anybody who's followed this channel for a while who knows my communications with Jody, Jody is typically on vacation. So I'm
Always. That
always
bitch is on vacation more than she works.
really. So I'm like, I don't know if she's going to be able to handle that or if she's going to actually have to.
This is too much time. I'd have given her till the end of this week. And then I would have given Sharon till
Right.
Wednesday. And then I don't even know that I'd give them 30 days, but let's say I did 30 days. This just feels like it's dragging out forever.
Right. So for clarification, so Jody and Judge Gohl have 20 days to fix the transcript with the exhibits. After the 20 days, or after, if they say they did it in, if they do it in 3 days, let's just say they do it in 3 days. From the day that the transcript is filed as completed, if they actually complete it, then the appellate attorneys have 30 days from that day to put their brief in. So there could be another 50 days. There could be some more extensions, whatnot, but it could be less than. For miracles happen that Jody gets everything together and does it in the next 3 days, then you have 30 days from those 3 days.
So Courtney wants my prediction. My prediction, having dealt with Jody and now having to send others to deal with Jody because Jody ignores me now. Jody's going to wait the whole 20 days. And on the 20th day, she's either going to say, here it is. Here's the stuff you're asking for. And she's going to send it to the whatever so that the clerk starts her 5 days. Or she's going to say, I know it's the 20th day, but I can't find it. I don't have it. I don't have them, which is what they've been telling us for the past year, 2 years,
Right.
3 years now.
Right.
So I don't know what would happen at that point. If 20 days out, she says we don't have it. I don't know. No, Bob. Oh, God.
No, Bob. No, I have not. And now that you bring it up,
Oh, God.
I must say I agree.
The smoke. Let it begin. All I picture is like the Elmo fire gif is like my favorite gif.
Oh yeah, you do like that gif.
And that's just what I feel. But so yeah, so Jody has 20 days. And then from whenever she's done, whatever she does, then Sharon in Carroll County has 5 days to file a certificate that it's complete again. And then from that day.
Oh, it's 5. You're right. I thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then from that day, it's 30 days.
Okay. So we're still talking. It could be upmost of 55 days.
I think let me just, I think it was All Eyes did wrote out the dates. Okay. So Jody has until November 11th to provide the missing exhibits to the clerk, which is Sharon. Then Sharon will have until November 16th to file the amended record. And then appellate counsel will have until December 15th to file the brief, unless she says unless it comes sooner, but I think we know better than that.
Right.
But unless they file for another extension.
Right.
In which case we might be going into the new year.
Okay. So that is the update on the order that came out today and where everything stands on Richard Allen's appellate brief.
So still basically nowhere. Still basically no one's done anything. It's been since March his appeal was filed. Literally nothing has been done. They don't even have all the shit. So I can't go off on that tangent right now. There's no time.
No time.
There's no time.
Okay, so we are going to continue we should be able to finish today the deposition of Jerry Holeman, and in doing so, we are, if you guys are wanting to do the read along, we are on page both.
Peter Griffin's a good one.
All the same person. If you want to do a read along with us, then we are on page 208 of the deposition. I believe it's 274 pages of actual of actual deposition testimony. So if you want to do the read along with us, we're on page 208. If not, it'll be on the screen, so you can do it there. As always, Sleuthy is our witness, and that today is Lieutenant Jerry Holeman, and I am the all-encompassed attorney. We are still reading Rosie as of right now. You know what?
You guys like
what
my picture?
Like? You know what he looks like to me?
A thumb toe? A chicken nugget? A thumb toe! I knew it!
He really does. I mean, I feel like that is the missing
uncanny.
Piece. Like, he's the missing piece, right? Like, I think that's how it is. It's the wonder that him and Brad Weber are so on par with each other. They're one. They're one.
He thinks this is his good side, his good angle.
Take a picture of me like this. I look good like this. Everybody else.
He's like what's missing.
Hand, but I want you to take one of my face from a really bad angle. Can you do it?
He's like what's missing of Brad Holder's leg.
I don't think it's the legs. I don't think it's the leg. It's like Jerry Holman's in Brad Holder's hand. And he's like looking up at Brad Holder's hand, like, what are you doing?
Wait, how can we get the? Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
Get in my belly.
For the comments, when you put this up, and we were talking about it, people were like, he doesn't even need to tuck. He can't even tuck.
He doesn't need to tuck. It's just a little Jerry Holman head down. Oh my God.
Oh God, I hate him so much. Oh, he's such a piece of shit. He deserves all of it. Okay.
She's doing tiny.
I mean, it just looks like he's trying to come up with a lie.
He's like, shit, are they going to know that I'm a tiny head?
Like, I don't know anything.
Skinny's like, good fucking God. I know. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we can timestamp this when we actually read the transcript.
Oh, whoopsie.
Okay, so I am still reading as Rosie, and if we have an attorney change, I will do my best to, I will do my best. Donuts, nom nom.
Nom nom nom. Donuts. I'll never forget her Twitter posts ever.
That was the best in the world. Nom 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 nom.
Nom nom nom. Donuts. They should use that for the Ozempic ads.
They really good. Donuts, nom 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 nom. Get in my belly. Oh shit! Did you just click on that?
I ate a baby.
Yeah, timestamp 35 minutes now. Sorry. Okay, here we go. And
scene.
Scene. Okay. As Mr. Rosie, let me revisit a couple of things. Let's talk about Muddy Bloody Guy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I do. So
my my recollection, just so we can set the table here, is that Sarah Carbaugh saw this guy that she described as being muddy and bloody, right? You generally agree with that?
Yes.
And that this particular person was first seen somewhere between the Mears farm and the cemetery, I think.
Yes.
Is kind of what I gather from talking to people with regard to that experience that Sarah Carbaugh had. Was there ever any surveillance video that reflected or corroborated, is probably a better word, what she said she saw?
Video, no. The only thing, we have her phone data. She was in the area at the time she said she was, and she's the only one that saw the person. And that person must have went behind the Hoosier Harvest store if he was walking that way, because we do not have him on camera going that way. Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah. So what is your opinion about the direction of travel of that person after Sarah Carbaugh saw the person?
What I just said.
So you're talking about north.
There's many options, obviously, but she sees him walking. I don't know what direction that is, from the cemetery towards Mears. So we're assuming he's going that way. That's the witness's statement. And we know she was there because we have phone data. So he could have, after she left, he could have went back the other way. Bro, what? He could have went back and around Hoosier Harvest store over towards where the old CPS building is. I mean, there's multiple options. We do not have him on video going across. So he had to go some different direction. That's all I know. I'm surprised you didn't say ask Richard Allen.
Even back down to the trail?
Potentially.
Do you recall anyone, I guess primarily Sarah Carbaugh, did she say with any specificity where she last saw this person?
No, other than what we've already discussed.
Which was on 300.
Between the cemetery and Mears, walking towards Mears.
Are you aware of any eyewitness testimony that said or that established that the person was anywhere else other than on 300?
No.
In the cemetery, in the woods, behind a barn, down the road, in a driveway, anything like that?
Only on the bridge.
All pretty important facts in this case.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have any further questions. I think Andy is going to ask a few. Okay, so now we're switching to Baldwin. So I'm still trying to get, I'm Andy Baldwin. I'm trying to get a feel for this unified command situation.
Sure.
We've heard who was in the unified command.
Initially,
Yeah.
it was myself and Jay Harper, Kevin Hammond, Tony Leggett, Rich Davies, and Mike Peasley from the FBI. So 2 FBI, 2 state, 2 county, and then Steve Mullen from the city. He was the chief at the time. And then prosecutor Rob Ives was also involved. And that was unified command initially.
And then if you can tell me kind of what it morphed into over time.
Sure. Rich Davies and Mike Peasley. Obviously, Rich retired from the FBI. Mike Peasley was transferred to Washington, D.C. or Virginia or something like that. Kevin Hammond retired. So that left Tony Leggett, me, Jay Harper, Steve Mullen, and then we added Dave Vito, and then Prosecutor McClellan took over shortly after Rob Ives left, and that was unified command. What happened?
Why isn't Lesenby there?
Man, it always comes back to Tobe, doesn't it? They couldn't have Tobe on there because he was getting tips called in about him. Durr.
I mean, that's just interesting. Why not have Tobe on, who's supposedly, once again, running the investigation? He's the lead agency on the investigation, according to Jerry Holeman.
Yeah, no.
So you have Hammond. Hammond was ISP.
Mm-hmm.
Hammond was ISP. I'm right, right?
Yes.
He says there's 2
2 state.
FBI, 2 state,
Mm-hmm.
2 county, and then Steve Mullen's the only one from the city. Okay. ISP. Carroll County. Where's the other Carroll County?
Wait.
Jay Harper, Kevin
It's
Hammond.
ISP. So maybe Hammond is county. Yeah, Hammond was Carroll County. So
Hammond was Carroll County?
yeah, so
Okay.
Harper and Holeman
Harper
are
and
state. Hammond and Liggett are county. Davies and Peasley are FBI. And then Mullen just randomly from the city.
random from the city. Okay. Okay. But not Lesenby. Okay. And was there any more charges other than those that you just described, or changes other than those than what you just described?
I don't think so. I think that's all I remember.
Is Unified Command still in existence?
Yes.
Okay, so the last crew that you said, that's the group that are involved in Unified Command?
That would be who I would consider the current Unified Command.
How often are they meeting?
We don't meet as often as we used to. We don't have it every week, every month. If something comes up, either Prosecutor McClellan will send out an email and say, hey, can we meet on this day, or vice versa. I'll say, hey, I got some information I'd like to share, or anybody with Unified Command. And we might invite other people like lab, forensic scientists and things like that. But I would say probably once a month still. I can't remember the last time we met, but it was probably a month ago.
At its height, how often would Unified Command?
Every day. Every day we'd meet in the morning, talk about what had happened and what our plans are moving forward, allocating any resources, time, money, going over stuff like that, eating donuts.
Num, 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 num. Where was the meetings? Was it a specific place, or was it different places?
Well, it moved a couple of times, but we called it Unified Command. So the command center started out at the Delphi Police Department. Above the police department, there's a conference room and kitchen and stuff we used. Then we moved over to what was referred to as the old REMC building, and we were in there for quite some time. And then we moved back temporarily to the police department, and then now we're at an off-site location. I don't know the actual address. Here, just outside Delphi.
And the reason I'm asking is because sometimes when there's meetings, you go down to the diner and you have a cup of coffee.
No, it was all private, secured locations with law enforcement only.
Was it in a place?
Different days and different times too.
Yeah, different places, and there's other different places. There's other kitchens, and there's other coffee. Was it in a place where you could look at technology, like things on computers, or was there a big screen so you could look at anything that you needed to look at if there was anything of interest?
Yep.
Okay, and who was kind of in charge of the technology side of it, if anybody?
Steve Mullen, probably, I'd say, is the most proficient in technology. Ugh. Woof.
Again, woof. The worst person to put in charge of technology, but yet that's what he did for Nick McClellan too.
And he's the most proficient. That's fucking scary, man.
He's the most proficient at getting rid of shit and blaming it on an accident.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's keep him around. Okay. And I'm trying to get an understanding of these people that go out, like the detectives and the different agencies that are investigating. I even saw some like up in Hammond, Indiana, I think. If you're up in Hammond, Indiana, how do you get involved in a case like this if you're a police officer up there?
Couple of different ways. Probably maybe a task force officer come down here to help us, but also we would, to save time and resources, we would reach out to, for example, if there was a person we got a tip on in Peru, I would reach out to Bob Burgess and say, hey, Bob, Could you follow up on this and establish alibi and things like that? If anything else, contact us and we'll jump in and help out. So we utilized not only state police, but some other local, and then the FBI. Out of state, we've used, we get tips out of state. We wouldn't always go. We'd reach out to the FBI or the state police in Florida or whatever. Denver, we went to Denver. We have sent people places, but we don't always send people places because, like I said, just because we get a tip doesn't make you a suspect. So it could be they could follow up on that very quickly for us and eliminate them as a suspect.
You said the words task force. Was that Greg Ferenczi on the task force?
Yeah, GRIT. I don't know what it stands for. Oh, God almighty.
Grit?
GRIT.
Oh, okay.
There's one up north. There's one down south. So it's FBI, state police, other local officers are put on this task force.
Did you know Greg Ferenczi before this case?
No,
Did you ever get to meet him?
I did.
How did you get to meet him?
Through some of the tips he was following up for us down there in that area.
And that brings me to, did you have like special guests come in and update you on things? You said like experts or maybe scientists or something like that would come in and talk.
Absolutely.
What about detectives? Like we're talking Murphy was working on aspects of I think the Odin side of it, the Odin allegations or the Odin whatever.
Yeah.
Did Murphy ever come in and give a full accounting of whatever his investigation involved?
I'm not sure if Murphy did, but we had multiple officers come in, and instead of us trying to read their reports or whatever, they would update us on their investigations.
And how would it be determined for you, who's probably a busy guy?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to read? How do I prioritize what I'm going to focus my energy on? How do I determine?
Quit taking my lines.
Sorry.
Utilize the investigators, they tell me what they feel, and it may change. Right now, this Brad Rosie guy looks really good, so you should probably follow up on this. And they would tell me, and then I would read the report. So like you said, there's multiple officers. I'm in charge. My normal job is to read all the police reports that come through District 14, which keeps me pretty busy. But you're talking now 100 officers or whatever, and I'm only getting the state police on my RMS. Then I have to get hard copies of others. So other people help me out as far as reviewing those.
What about emails? Is there like a, don't email me, I don't need my box all inundated with emails?
I actually stayed off the email tip line. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm just saying, like I'm sure you have an email. Like if Murphy or Purdy would send you an email, would you look into it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I always respond to emails. That's wrong because I have an email on him, and that was from like 2 years ago, and he hasn't replied. Liar.
But what was the preferred method for you?
Verbally. No paper trail.
Verbally.
Call me, meet with me.
I want to talk about some of these officers. I don't know what the right phrase is. I'll just call them law enforcement officers to see what your thoughts are on them and how well you knew them. How about like Winters, like Joseph Winters?
He worked at Lafayette. I was actually one of his FTOs. He transferred down south. He was one that the state police sent up here to help during the initial push, like when we were getting a lot of tips.
Do you trust Joseph Winters?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you trust his opinion on the importance and value of evidence?
Yeah.
Ferenczi, I know he's deceased, but did you trust, from what you knew of him, did you trust his?
Yeah, I didn't know him all that well, but yes.
Murphy, how well do you know Murphy?
I knew of him before this, but then he was assigned down here because he was one of the grit guys. Got to know him pretty well. Yeah, I trust him. He did a really good job following up on tips and leads.
And if he came to you and said, hey, I think it is important, that would mean something to you?
Yes.
If Murphy said that, yes?
Yes.
I'm sorry, sometimes when I use a pronoun and then I'll have to go back because I don't want to figure out who I was talking about.
Okay,
Purdy.
I think somebody fucked this up. Wait, no.
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead.
I just think that wasn't a question. It should have just been part of this. Purdy, Roland Purdy, how did you feel? Did you know him?
Not before this, I didn't.
Did you feel from your working with him that he did a good job?
He's not as reliable as others. No. Oh, I'm telling
Ooh,
Purdy you said that.
Purdy is going to know that you said that. Okay, all right. And if he said, hey, I think something's important, would that be something you would pay attention to?
Oh, absolutely. We would definitely look into it.
And Stephanie Thompson, did she do anything else other than polygraph, or was she just...
Just polygraph, as far as I know.
Did you have any reason to believe she was not a good polygraph?
No, she was absolutely excellent. Her and I were very close, and I would trust her with my life. Boy, did she trust you with hers? That's fucking scary.
Right. Let me phrase it this way. You said it earlier that part of a polygraph examination is to get a feel for whether the person is telling the truth, or to determine whether they're telling the truth, right?
Yes.
But the other part of it is, and I know this from doing this so long, this is where our clients sometimes crash and burn because they say a bunch of crap during the polygraph examination, which I think is part of why you do a polygraph examination. Is that fair to say? You're trying, that's not a very well, you're trying to gain information from this out of the mouths of these people that can be used.
Like I said earlier, it's definitely a tool that we use, and there is a pre-interview before the actual polygraph. The pre-interview is where we gain some information, and then there's a post-interview after they say he's deceptive, not deceptive, inconclusive, whatever. You go back and re-interview them if they're willing to clear things up.
And if a polygraph examiner hears something during a polygraph examination that they think is of importance, would they normally come to you and say, hey, this guy told me this during the polygraph exam?
Normally. And if you're the investigator, if I'm investigating Brad Rosie again, bro, if I'm investigating Brad Rosie and I'm going to be watching the polygraph and pre-polygraph and I'm there to answer questions or whatever. So yeah.
You think Stephanie Thompson, if she were to hear something during a polygraph examination of somebody that she felt was important in this case, that she would go to the right people to tell them?
I think so, yeah.
Do you think that Sarah Carbaugh is a credible witness?
I do.
Do you know if she has changed her description of who she saw on 300 North heading westbound?
I don't think she changed it. I think she clarified some things, but Tony Liggett would be the one that interviewed her.
Betsy Blair, you think she's credible?
Yes.
I've listened to Robert Ives on a podcast at one point in time, and he said, I think it was after you had left, that there were at least 3 signatures left at the crime scene. Do you agree with that?
I have no clue what he's talking about. Like somebody signed their name signature?
This is Investigator of the Year.
You'd have to ask Rob Ives.
Do you know what a signature for a crime is?
I mean, I know like serial killers, some people would leave. How do you have a signature in one crime? I don't know what he's talking about. Yes, I do know what signatures are. No, I don't believe that Rob Ives knows what he's talking about. God.
Oh, this would have all been redacted. You know it. Yeah, did they sign their name? Did they sign their name at the scene of the crime? Like one crime? How does that make any sense, sir? That makes no sense.
Oh God.
Such an idiot. I don't think Robert Ives knows what he's talking about. Did Robert Ives respond to your post about this?
What?
All I said, Ives responding to my post about this.
Did he?
Robert Ives, did he respond? Hold on, I think I still have Twitter up. Let me go look. Let me see. I want to see him respond. When did you post it? Probably a while
I would
ago.
love if he said something like, I always know he was a dumb bastard. Oh, he did respond?
Yeah, where's the post though? I'm looking
He
for
probably
it.
said something stupid like, I don't remember ever saying that. Wait, what's his Twitter? How about that's probably easier.
It might be.
And then go to his replies.
Let's see what
He
she
was
said.
very professional about it. Jared didn't deserve that courtesy at all. Oh, duh. All right. I'm going to find it right now in 2 seconds. Watch this.
Okay.
Boom.
What does it say?
So she said, Jerry Holeman. No, I don't believe that Rob Ives knows what he's talking about. Okay, so what is his name, though? Oh, my God. The Mike Tyson gif is fucking hilarious. Just alert. He said, bro, he's super active on the twat.
Oh yeah.
He said, hello. You can all draw your own conclusions about the physical evidence at the scene. I gave those interviews far prior to the arrest of Mr. Allen. My intention was to maintain interest in the case, hoping it would be solved. I have no interest in conflict with Mr. Holeman. That's hilarious. With whom I always had a cordial and professional relationship. I will
Ooh.
add again that I don't believe I ever uttered the words non secular any time in my life except to state that I never said it. That is a lie.
Okay, so
Wait, can I tell you what Angela said to him?
Yes.
He responded to it too. So Angela said, last one, I swear, Mr. Ives, from what I've seen and from how others speak about you without exception, I believe you were an excellent and ethical prosecutor. History also tells us that you were the kind of prosecutor who, if and when presented with new facts or exonerating evidence, were willing to thoughtfully re-examine the state's case / position and the defendant's likely guilt or innocence and correct course, even dropping charges altogether if / when in the interest of justice. And then she gave an example. And then she said, a truly hypothetical question. If you were a prosecutor who had successfully secured a conviction against a defendant, and in the course of the standard appellate / post-conviction relief process were presented with irrefutable evidence that either A, the defendant was tragically wrongfully convicted, or B, that there had been either law enforcement or prosecutorial error so egregious that it rendered any defense futile or made a fair trial impossible, what would or could you do, if anything? And his response was,
Ooh. She's so
in
smart.
case A, the ethical and moral course is to move to vacate the conviction. In case B, the situation is unlikely and any response I would make inevitably will lead to being quoted out of context. Of course, prosecutors and police officers have sometimes made egregious errors, but those errors making a fair trial impossible is a very unlikely situation. In such a case, the defendant has a huge advantage because law enforcement is now open to attack. Except they weren't open to attack, sir.
They weren't.
Like, can someone please email him the fucking transcripts? Has he not seen them? All eyes. I'm
Send him
snapping
an
my
email.
fingers. Send him the transcripts, please. Pip. We watched
He
Mary
obviously
Poppins when my mom was here, so now it's in my head.
But here's Holman saying, I know what signatures are. And then
So then why did his
he's like,
dumbass say, like
did
signing their
somebody
name?
sign their name, like their
Yeah.
signature? Like, and then he's like, I don't think Robert Ives and them talking about.
Sure, Robert is the one that
Fucking
doesn't know what he's
dumbass
talking
up here
about.
says,
Biff.
what? Somebody signed their name there? Like, how do you have 3 of them at one, like what? At like one crime scene? Like what? Like I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Why don't we have a photo of Biff to put side by side with him?
Oh my God, I know.
He is Biff. In fact, I imagine I imagine Holeman. I know I'm talking the way that I'm talking for him, but I also imagine him as like one of those people where like their lower jaw pops out further than their top jaw, or they talk like this.
Oh yeah, I
Can
can
you
see
picture
that.
it? Like
Yeah,
a
I can
crude.
see that. Uh-huh.
He is a troll.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I think he's talking about, whether it's good or bad. Is that a signature is something that is left behind that
Yes, a bulldog. Sorry, yes, like a bulldog. Yes.
at a crime scene or a murder scene that is important because later on, if the secret of the crime scene has been kept and somebody talks about something that was at the crime scene, the signature that was left behind, then you might be able to connect the two. Okay. Is that something that you think could have happened here?
I don't know as I necessarily agree with your definition of a signature.
Sure.
But what I talked about with Brad earlier is yeah, we definitely want to keep the evidence. So there's evidence we don't want to get out because only certain people know what happened. 2 are dead, but that's not a signature to me. That's just the evidence that they left behind. Signature. How come on my copy? Oh, wait. Scroll down a little bit. Why is mine bold? Okay, never mind. I hope they're the same. I hope they're the same words. Okay, so, but 2 are dead. That's not really left behind. Signature. Oh, this dumbass. Signature to me would be smiley face killer, this or that. He always leaves a smiley face at every crime scene or something. That's a signature to me. He would pick the smiley face killer.
It's just like somebody signed their name. What was on the tree at the crime scene?
It looked like a hand swipe. Some people refer to it as the F tree, but again, that was also analyzed by the BAU. Purdue professor. We forgot to talk about that. Brad didn't ask me about that. But that was all in that same evaluation with the sticks and everything else. And they all said it's not. They're not going to leave any question to it, is basically what, if they're leaving a signature or if they're leaving a sign that it was a hate crime, you're going to know it. And that you couldn't tell. It looked like maybe they cleaned something off. It wasn't distinctly enough to be what you would consider a signature, I guess.
He referred to it and
A
said
hate crime.
no, he said some people refer to it as the F tree.
Who referred to it as that, sir? Oh,
This is
wait a minute.
this
Wait a
is
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
uh-huh,
The Frank's memo hadn't come out yet.
correct.
Who the fuck called it an F tree?
Yeah, some
Gary?
people.
Who's the
Remember,
some people?
according to the state, the defense made up this whole F tree thing. It was all made up by the defense team. There was no F tree.
Put a
So
pin in that. We're going to be tweeting about that later.
yeah, so some people, which is more than one, referred to it as the F tree. So it wasn't the defense that just made up the fact that it looked like an F.
Well, who to thunk it?
What a surprise.
That had definitely been redacted.
Yeah, no way they want us to know that. Okay, so did you ever hear any stories or thoughts about marking trees with blood or marking trees at all with these Odinite people?
I don't recall that, no.
Hi, Roxanne.
A
Thanks
germ.
For being such a gem. I think the gems are in the light. The germs are in the dark. Did Liggett ever talk about marking of trees?
I don't remember. I know through the people we talked about, Odin, so cinnamon, Odinism is not to sacrifice people and things like that.
Really?
That's what I was told.
You ever Google it?
No, I don't Google. Oh, bullshit. What the fuck? Like,
I just asked Cecil and he'll Google it for me.
I leave it up to Cecil.
I don't do the Google. You don't Google?
I don't do the Google.
Go to the professionals.
Oh, wait. So ask me again if I don't Google.
You don't Google?
No, I go to the professionals, the professors, and BAU.
So what about the sticks on Abby? Were those in some form?
Again, what we were told was that they were undoing. Some people were trying to make it look like a star or whatever, but the professionals, again, I didn't Google it. I'm telling you what the professionals tell us.
The professionals being the Purdue professor who actually doesn't call it an undoing. But good job.
So you don't remember his name, but you remember exactly what he told you?
But that's not what he said. That's not said until, I think it was, I'd have to go back in the transcript, but I'm pretty sure it was the Marshall's BAU that comes in 2 years later and says that.
Well, just a couple sentences ago, he said the BAU Purdue professor.
Right.
Like a jackass.
Well, because the
He's
BAU
got to know.
FBI,
I mean, he's tipped off at this point, but he's still fishing to see what all they know. Still. Because at this point, he doesn't know what they know.
Right.
And one day he will, but it won't be till after this.
And one day he... Smooth. That was so smooth. Sure.
So I'm telling you what the professionals tell us.
Okay, sure.
That again, it would have been obvious if it was a sign from some sort of Odinism or cult. And it wasn't obvious enough. People were saying, oh, it could be this. It could be that. It could be this. And then some even said it was an undoing. They're covering. We had two different professionals tell us that.
And you have to really explain this undoing business to the best of your ability, because I've not heard this before.
Sure.
Criminal network.
So let's just say I slit your throat and kill you.
Holy fuck. Okay. Let's just go into it.
What I'm going to do is cover that up because I don't want to see it. I want to undo it. I don't want to see it in my mind when I'm there. That's what people do in some of these crime scenes, especially if you know something as horrific as that. That's how it was explained to me. Wrong.
Okay. Well, not all of the sticks on Abby were covering her neck. One part of one stick was.
Right. So what they were saying, what they explained to us, they would lay sticks down so the sticks that they covered wasn't touching it because they must care that much.
What?
Let me start over because that makes no fucking sense.
Of course not. Go ahead.
So what they were saying, what they explained to us, they would lay sticks down so the stick that they covered wasn't touching it because they must care that much. And they lay the other stick on top of it. Now, I don't know. I haven't looked at the sticks that closely to see if that's the pattern, but that's what we were told. That makes absolutely no sense. 0 sense.
Okay. So I think what he's trying to say is the reason that there are sticks, like other sticks that aren't actually touching, that aren't touching the wound, is because those are laid down first.
But that wasn't it. That's not true, was it?
But that's what I think he's trying to say is like those are laid down first so that the stick that they used to undo their crime
wasn't touching the actual wound.
Touching the wound.
But it was.
But he doesn't know because he's not ever looked at the sticks that closely.
Okay. That's the least surprising part about all this, really. Of course he didn't look.
Why does anybody even want to have a conversation with this fucktard? He did not do anything.
Right.
Yeah, they wanted to undo the blood pool. Undo the pool of blood, and we will make this little stick figure over it, and the blood will miraculously not be there anymore.
But I won't cover all of these things to make them actually unviewable with all the leaves that are on the ground all around the place.
Hmm. Yes. They leave the sticks there for longer. Then I don't think they go back to pick up the sticks until the 18th, and that's by memory, so that date could be a little bit off. But I think it's longer than that. And they just because they were told to go back. I'd have to go back to like O'Leahy's transcript. 14 days. It's definitely a while. They don't go back for the sticks for a long time. Okay. Let me see.
2.
There we are. Okay, what are the Odinites? What do you call the things that they use? You said a star. Have you ever heard of any names of what their alphabet is?
No, because honestly, the Odinism thing to me was covered by the Purdue professor. Other people would bring it up. It would be in the back of my mind. If something come up in the investigation, there were some people that had weird photos on their Facebook. So we would look into that. But to me, I'm going to tell you that through our investigation, my opinion is I agree with the Purdue professor. I agree with the BAU. I agree with the other two that came up and analyzed the evidence. And I agree with the U.S. Marshal BAU. It's not a hate crime. It's not something that, now, would we look into it if something comes up? Absolutely. He tried to cover there.
So you're then thinking it's based upon these experts, Odinism had nothing to do with that crime scene?
That's what I believe.
Did you ever look at experts try to find experts that might push back on those experts?
All the experts that we've reached out to were the ones that I said they didn't know. They didn't know we had other experts looking.
So he saw weird photos on people's Facebooks, is what he just said. Sure. You said that there were people that would send you social media photographs, and what were you talking about there?
Well, once that information was released that there were sticks on a girl, I don't know how it got released or who or whatever. Then we started getting tips on people that had symbols and things like that, but we would look into them. We couldn't even put them in Delphi.
I never read the sticks. When did that come out?
This is called a guilty conscience. I think it was on a podcast or something like that. And I don't know for sure, but you'd have to look. I'm pretty sure it was out.
I'm marking this as Exhibit A. Tell me what that is.
It's a picture of Abby.
And the sticks on top of her, you don't think, according to your experts, they're not formed into anything other than, what did you call it? Covering?
Undoing.
Undoing, is that right?
Yeah. Some people say he got interrupted, was trying to cover them up. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I agree with the undoing portion because the way the sticks are, I don't see any formation, stars, or letters or anything.
Okay, so really quick here. He agrees with the undoing because of how the sticks are.
But he hasn't looked at the stick pattern.
But he doesn't, I was just going to say up above, there, he doesn't bother to look at the stick pattern or to know which sticks were laid down first or not laid down first.
Yep. He's just running his mouth.
Yeah, and he's like talks in circles.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen this? I'm going to mark this as Exhibit B.
Yep.
Okay, so can you describe what that is for the record?
Looked like a poorly drawn asterisk on somebody.
Do you know whose website that was on or Facebook page?
It looks like Brad Holder.
Yeah? April the 17th of 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so
Then Nick comes in. Is there a question about that exhibit, or do you just want him to identify it and mark it?
I'm going to ask. I've got another question. I've got these side by side now, and I have to take a break really quick. So if you want to entertain, I'll be right back.
Oh, I was thinking about this because I did read ahead a little bit, where Baldwin keeps, this is not the only time. There's like another couple of times where he says, I'm going to ask, I've got another question. I got these side by side now. It's not clear to me that the exhibit that he's showing him is its own exhibit with two photos side by side, but rather he's pulling out exhibit C and putting it next to exhibit B for these side by sides. So it was interesting to me when he was talking about in the contempt hearing that there were side by side exhibits that he was shown in his deposition, because it doesn't really seem to me like they were created as side by sides, but rather two exhibits set side by side on the table to him, if that makes any sense. However, I think when they would go to give him copies of his deposition, and also Nick a copy of his deposition, which I'm sure happened, then when copies were made of the exhibits, at that point, they may have been provided as side by sides. I don't know, man. I think Jerry Holeman was the leak. I think he's the one that leaked the crime scene shit. And that's just my honest opinion. What are we voting for? Yeah, Nick or him. Both of them would have been given copies of this deposition, including the exhibits that were shown to him.
Okay, I apologize. Thank you.
That's okay.
They altered the pics by making them side by sides.
Yeah, I was just on a little. If you didn't hear me, then I'm not going to repeat myself. What?
I didn't hear you.
Good, because I'm wondering if you'll pick up on it too.
Okay. All right. So you're familiar.
Go back to Mr. Baldwin. Go back to 8.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. I've got another question. I got these side by side now. Okay, so A is just the picture of Abby at the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
B is just the picture from Brad Holder's Facebook of the asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
C is both of those side by side.
Exhibits A and B side by side.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're familiar with that, is that right? You're familiar with Exhibit B?
I'm sure I've seen this before, yeah.
I've got these now side by side. So Brad Holder, it looks like to me about 4 or 5 weeks after these girls are murdered, has put on his hand or on somebody's hand what you would call an asterisk. Maybe you might call it that. You call that, we call that a Hegel rune or a Hegel rune. A Hagel rune or a Hegel rune is what I'm assuming. Have you ever heard of Hegel?
No.
Okay, what do you think of that?
I mean, it's a stretch that you could say that's the exact same formation, and that's what a lot of people are doing. What people, bro? The Franks thing didn't even come out yet. So what are you talking about? A lot of people are doing that.
So who's done this already?
I don't know. I'm going to keep reading. The exact same information. That's what a lot of people are doing. But I'm going to stick by what the experts told me because I'm no expert in this. And the experts tell me that you would not have a question because that doesn't look exactly like that.
Which is closer, that the two side by sides there in Exhibit C?
Burn!
This is good. Which is closer, that the two side by sides there in Exhibit C, or the sketch 1 and sketch 2, which looks more like the other? Carry on. Thank you.
Sketch 1 and sketch 2 to me.
Sketch 1 and sketch 2.
Yeah, that doesn't look any closer to that formation than two white males similar age and build.
And this photo leaves out a stick.
It does. Stick right here, going across here. That's not in there. So
What? Nothing to see there, right?
I don't agree with the analogy, the analogy, I guess.
You guess you don't? So there is something to see. Is there something to see there or not?
Well, obviously there's pictures in front of me to see, but you're not going to convince me that that's the same drawing. Through my experience and the information I've got from the professionals, that doesn't look anything like whatever you called that.
But sketch 1 and 2 do look like.
I think sketch 1 and 2 look similar. Yeah.
I'm going to move to admit those, or I'll admit those. Okay, Defendant's Exhibit D. Now, I'm going to send you B, or D, I'm sorry. Can you tell me what D is?
Did is a picture of a tree with blood spattered on it, with blood rubs, blood drops.
Is that from the crime scene?
Yes, it is.
You're familiar with it?
I am.
Okay, how about E? I'm sending you E. I'm going to represent to you. Have you seen that before?
I think so. Yeah. I think this is what we talked about earlier, what people have pictures on. We get tips about people having weird formations and things on there. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give you the side-by-side. Yeah, that's off of Brad Holder's page, right?
Yes.
You've seen that.
Absolutely.
Here's a side-by-side. Do you think those look alike?
I can see a little bit of similarities there, but like I said, from our professionals, it would be no question. And this kind of looks like an F over here. This kind of looks like, I think it's kind of an F.
Did you ever give the experts, as you call them, any of these photos that I provided to you off of Brad Holder's website or Facebook page
I don't know.
to compare them?
I don't know.
Should you have done that if you didn't?
Not necessarily, because Brad Holder's been eliminated because he was at work.
You ever heard of a guy named Charles Manson?
I do know. I've heard of him. I don't know him personally.
Was he present at the crime scenes?
Not all the time. No, I don't think so.
Did anybody in Unified Command ever think, I wonder if that alibi is accurate, that maybe, just maybe, that Holder was directing other people? Did that conversation ever happen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It did.
Yeah.
Apparently that was ruled out as a possibility.
There's no evidence. We have no evidence indicating that he was commanding people to go kill people. I mean, ask Richard Allen if Brad Holder told him to go kill the girls. I mean, you guys communicated. You communicate with the guy that killed the girls. What a piece of shit.
This is him getting, you can tell he's getting irritated now.
Uh-huh.
So if I was talking to the guy that killed those girls, I would be sure to ask that.
You have. You absolutely you have.
I believe that you think that.
I know that. All the evidence indicates clearly that.
Do you know what tunnel vision?
I do. I preached about not getting tunnel vision, and we have given you thousands of pages of reports that we focused on many different people. So,
tell me about Amber Holder. Do you know about her?
Very little.
I'll tell you a story about Amber and see if you know this story. Amber Holder, this is from your police reports.
Okay.
Has said that she started dating Brad. Tell me if you know the story, because I don't want to belabor it, but she started dating Brad Holder in late of February 2017, about a week or two before he had ended a friendship with Patrick Westfall. Do you know that story? That's not true, but.
Familiar. I'd have to review the report you're referring to see if you're being truthful with me.
Okay, I got it.
And Nick says, are you going to have him review the report now?
Baldwin says, sure. Do you want to take a break so I can go and take care of my other obligations in court?
I think maybe that's me supposed to say, sure, absolutely.
Okay, McClellan says, sounds like it's going to take him 15, 20 minutes to do that. Baldwin says he can read the whole thing in 15 or 20 minutes. If you need to know where I'm particularly talking about, it's on page 9, I believe. Yes, 9. But if you want to read the whole thing, because I I might be asking you questions about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they take another recess. So is he handing him Murphy's report at this time?
It sounds like it, yes.
Okay.
Because that was 12 pages, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So what was it about the exhibits that I don't know what you had said about the exhibits, and you said I'm not going to tell you because I want to see if you catch it. What was it?
Long story short, like, I don't like I, when we're reading this deposition, it sounds like they had exhibit A and exhibit B,
Mm-hmm.
and then he wanted to put exhibits A and B next to each other and just said that he was marking it as exhibit C, right?
I think it was like a picture that he'd already had made.
Oh, see, I didn't read it that way. I thought he was just going off of Holeman's answers. He shows him A, then he shows him B, then he puts those two pictures together side by side for him and then says, do they look the same, or whatever he says.
Well, he wouldn't be able to submit that as a exhibit C, though. It'd have to be something tangible to be able to be exhibit C. So my thought is A is the picture of Abby, B is the picture from Holder's Facebook, C is a picture of them side by side to compare them.
Okay.
But I want to see something here. Hold on. Not that.
What is happening?
Me? I'm looking for something. Oh. Problem is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it because I don't know if I've already moved it into my Google Drive or not. So it's fine if I don't.
Should I play some tunes?
No, you're good. I'm going to have to look for it later because I just wanted to compare something really quick. Man, Karen Reed, that just brings back so many memories. All right, let me share this again. Okay, so we take the break. We're giving him the exhibit that I think is probably Murphy's report. Okay, so we're back from break, from recess. So you've just spent the last several minutes reading what we marked as Defendant's Exhibit G, which will be attached and made a part of this deposition. You've said off record that you've never seen that document before.
It looks like it's in a Word document, not state police report, which is what you guys have right there. The one in front of you, the one in front of Mr. Rosie, those state police reports. This looks like a Word document. Word documents don't come to me. I'm familiar with some of the information in here, but I've never seen this report.
Okay, so let's go through some of the stuff. I want to figure out what you are and are not familiar with.
Okay.
Were you familiar with Amber Holder's story?
Yes.
So Amber Holder tells a story about how the friendship between Brad Holder and Westfall ended because of something that happened in a ritual in the woods by a creek sometime in mid-February, correct?
Yep. Page 9. Is that where you're at?
Yes. You were aware of that before today.
I was not aware of all of it. I was aware this Amber was interviewed. I haven't seen this. I was aware that Amber was trying to say there was a falling out between Patrick because of the ritual that went wrong.
That's what I was looking for, Yellow.
Mm-hmm. He literally, yes. He wrote it, he typed it up in a Word document, and that's how they put it in Orion, supposedly. I'm sure he wasn't the only one that did that.
Yeah, it says it's their notes, and so that's what they're turning over, and they're attaching as like their supplemental reports. Okay. Did you know the time frame of that ritual that went wrong that Amber Holder spoke about to the state trooper about what was around the same time as the girls were murdered?
No, I did not recall that.
Does that bother you?
Yeah, it bothers me.
Okay, now we're on to something. Did you know that this ritual that she talked about on page 9 of Exhibit G took place in the woods near a river?
No.
Does that bother you?
Yep.
What, if anything, are you going to do about it?
Well, I'm going to search for more state police reports, find out why this report wasn't submitted through the RMS system, why this was given like this. And I think that would probably be Murphy and Purdy can answer more questions, see if there possibly was more follow-up on Westfall and these individuals that I don't know about.
Did Murphy ever tell you, or did anybody from Purdy or Ferenczi, did they ever tell you that story about what Amber Holder said?
Monday, they weren't allowed. She and everything about her, everything she would have testified to, all the stuff we're even talking about right now was all excluded from the trial. Or am I on 22?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm familiar with parts of it. I remember hearing some of it, but not the details that you're talking about.
I would presume if you heard those details, it would have triggered something in how you would have handled it.
Could have been. When somebody else, when was this? Do you know when this was submitted?
When it was what?
Submitted.
All I can tell you is this is the document I got from Discovery.
All right, that's what I'm saying. This isn't an RMS form, so I wouldn't get to review it. And there was a period of time when I was in Washington, D.C., when Bob Burgess was reviewing reports. I've never seen this report. Like I said, it's not an official.
I appreciate that you're bothered by the form of the report. I do. Okay, this is probably the best I've ever heard Andy. Let me just tell you that right now. Like,
For
from
sure.
everything you've read so far, this is like Andy at top-notch lawyer level. Like, he's in tune with what is happening right now. I appreciate that you're bothered by the form of the report. I do. Are you bothered more by the form of the report or the fact that you didn't know that Amber Holder told a story that in mid-February, Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall had a falling out over something that happened by a river in the woods in some type of ritual?
I'm bothered that I didn't know all the details. I knew the Cliff Notes version where I knew Patrick Westfall and Brad Holder had a falling out. I recall that.
Had you ever heard of Johnny Messer?
No,
You don't know who Johnny Messer is.
I've never heard that name. Did
To
you just
this
punch
very
something?
day, you don't know who Johnny Messer is.
I've heard some of these names in here that you're referring to, but Johnny Messer is not on my radar. It doesn't mean I haven't heard it, but you got to take into consideration, I got about 100,000 names through my head.
I don't know what is going on right now. Hold on. Why is my screen doing that?
We're on 239.
I don't, but look, I try to scroll. This is what it's doing. Why is it doing that? How do I fix that? Hi, Ange.
You must have clicked the button.
I don't know, but what did I click? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know, I don't know. So if I
Is
try
it
to
caps
scroll,
lock? Is it shift? Wait, what does it say at the bottom there?
oh shit, my phone was on a button on my key.
What button was it so we know if this ever happens again?
It was laying on the control function shift.
So that's what I heard because I said, did you punch something? And you didn't answer me, but that's what
I didn't. I wasn't looking at my keyboard. My phone was on it. Get out of here, phone.
Go fuck yourself, phone. We got stuff.
Go fuck
We got shit
yourself,
to do.
phone. Causing
All right, so
trouble. And I don't even know where I am. 239. To this very
So
day, you
I
don't know who
said,
Johnny
it
Messer
doesn't
is.
mean I haven't heard it, but you got to take into consideration. I got about 100,000 names through my head.
Sure.
And I studied the ones that you guys provided, and those weren't provided. So I didn't have a chance to look up. Like the email that I got from Mr. Rosie allowed me to look up those reports and have me familiar with. That's why I was able to give as much information about those people, but I didn't get these names. Elvis I did, Brad I did, but not whatever else.
I can tell you there's 3 things minimally that place Elvis Fields in Delphi. 3.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you one of them.
All right.
Johnny Messer.
You would have to confirm that with Mr. Murphy, Trooper Murphy and Trooper Purdy, because they're the ones that did the investigation, and never did they tell us that they had a direct connection with this Mr. Messer guy you're referring to that I recall. What is his connection to Delphi?
Well, Messer is one of the recruiters for the Odinites, and he's from Rushville.
Which is the
Oh,
wait.
wait. What? Which is down south.
No, I say somebody fucked these up. Which is down south?
Elvis
Wait.
was from Connorsville. He's from Rushville.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure we met him down around Connorsville.
Does that bother you that there's a connective tissue between Delphi and Elvis Fields down in Rushville?
I don't think that proves anything at this point. You're just telling me.
I'm not asking you whether it proves anything. I'm asking you whether you're bothered by it.
Not really. I think I can look into it and probably find some reports that were more accurate and in a timely manner that was followed up on.
So you think this is inaccurate, what's contained in...
I mean, I just don't like that it's in a Word document. We're not supposed to submit those in Word documents. We're supposed to use our RMS so they could be... This was never approved by whoever. It would be me, Sergeant Buckley. So this information was never reviewed by me.
Did you ever hear that? I guess I know the answer to this, I think, is Johnny Messer, Taylor Hornaday, let Johnny borrow her car on Valentine's Day, 13th and 14th time frame. When he came back from being up here in Delphi, he had blood in his car or on his car.
Just what I read in that very little.
Does that bother you?
I mean, it doesn't bother me. It concerns me a little bit.
It concerns you a little bit?
Yeah. Are you trying to convince me that somebody else killed the two girls? I'm going to try to convince you that Richard Allen killed these girls.
I know you are.
I know you are, and I know what you're trying to do.
I'm not trying to do anything.
I'm not going to admit to.
Other than let you start investigating this finally.
Oh, we've been investigating it, sir.
Well, how do you know? How do you know about this thing? You don't even know about this.
Because this is not a state police official document. It would not have went through me. I told you that multiple times.
Let's talk about a document that you are familiar with.
Okay. I want to know what he was said. I want to know what he was doing when he said, "I'm not going to admit to."
Yeah. What are you not going to admit to?
Yeah.
Here's H. Before I give it to you, have you ever heard of Ryan Boucher?
Sounds familiar.
Do you know who he is?
I know a lot of people. I'd have to. Do you have a picture of him?
No. Go ahead and read that. Just take a second.
Yep, I'm familiar with this. Yeah.
So that is Exhibit H that I'm referring to, correct?
Yes.
So now that you've reviewed it, does that refresh your recollection?
Yes. I remember talking to Ryan Winters about this. I remember reviewing this report and passing information on. Whether Brad Holder was re-interviewed, I don't know. At that time, we were having a lot of tips, and this may have been put back with that information. I'd have to review more reports to see if we have anything else.
Do you remember the part there where it says the provided media is on page 2 of Exhibit H? Quote, the provided media pictures show unknown young girls believed to be deceased with sticks placed over their bodies, end quote.
Yep.
You ever look at that photo?
I did not look at it. I believe that the people that were working on this Odinism thing did. We had those people looking into it.
I'm just gonna reiterate in this live, because I know I said it in the last one in part 2. If supposedly Professor Purdue said no Odinism, doesn't match anything, all these things, stop looking at it, it's not worth it. Why is anybody still continuing to look at Odinism? Like, when he keeps saying that people were working on this Odinism thing, why? When you're saying that all the experts have told you that's not what it is, why is anybody looking at the Odinism thing? And then why are you telling people like Purdy, who now we know that you don't trust, not to look at it? And then we have Purdy going behind everybody's back and going and having a conversation with Brad Holder that nobody knows about.
Right. Supposedly, okay, Holeman probably.
Supposedly, Holeman probably. Jerry Holeman is a dumpster fire. Yeah, it doesn't fit the Rick narrative, so can't use it anymore. Okay. So this is Exhibit I. So you were aware of it when you talked to Winters. You were aware of the photo, correct?
I'm just telling you that is so small. I can't believe that anybody can actually see what's on the screen. I mean, I know I'm blind, but yeah, you're good. Okay. I don't know if I was aware of it at the time or if this sparked my interest, but yeah, I knew they had some photos, which I mentioned that earlier, that they had odd photos and things like that.
But you don't remember looking at it.
I've looked at a lot of photos. I more than likely did, but I don't remember.
We didn't get it in discovery, at least we didn't see it. So we drove down to Georgia and interviewed Mr. Boucher.
Okay.
And this is what he says that he repeated to Winters. Have you looked at that? Have you seen that?
I don't think I have. No, I may have.
That's Exhibit I marked, correct?
It is. Like, don't you think a reasonable reaction when he said, we didn't get it in discovery, at least we didn't see it. So we drove down to Georgia and interviewed Mr. Boucher. Like, don't you feel like a reasonable reaction would have been like, you all went all the way to Georgia
Right. Well, now
for
he's
a
just like,
picture?
fuck, you did? Oh, shit. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Defendant's Exhibit J. I'm going to do a side-by-side with J. Can you tell me what this is? On one side is what I just handed you as H, and on the other side, what is that?
That is liberty. Wait, what? Okay, wait. He says that is liberty. I mean, it says if a tree falls in the woods. Oh my God, did this jackass look at this photo and think it was liberty? But then he's going to turn around and say that it doesn't look like the crime scene? But this dumbass bitch thought it was liberty in the picture? I can't. He said that is liberty. I mean, it says if a tree falls in the woods, it looks like it is staged to make it look like this tree laid on a knocked somebody out with a dummy. I don't think it's similar. I mean, you could say, oh, there's a tree on a girl, but that doesn't. But you just said that is liberty. You thought it was liberty.
That's weird. Okay, so I is the picture, or H is the picture from Ryan Boucher.
Uh-huh. So what is J?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. On one side is what I just handed you as H, and the other side, what is that?
So J is liberty.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That is liberty. I mean, it says if a tree falls in the woods, it looks like it is staged to make it look like this tree laid on and knocked out somebody out with a dummy. I don't think it's similar. I mean, you could say, oh, there's a tree on a girl, but that doesn't. I'm thinking that this on
Are
the
you
side.
thinking that he just acknowledged that J is liberty and then he's just talking about H the rest of the time?
No, so J is the side by side. H is the picture from Ryan Boucher. So that compared to a photo of Liberty, because he doesn't talk about I.
Where are you getting a photo of liberty?
I'm waiting to figure out, because that's the only other thing, because he's not comparing it to.
He says, I'm going to do a side-by-side with J. So H and J are next to each other. There is no I. I know
Well,
this
there is
because I was
I.
going through there is no I. In fact, if you scroll, I think to the top, it'll tell you the exhibits that.
Defendant's Exhibit I was marked for identification.
Oh,
So
so
you were
maybe I
aware of
is
it when
Libby.
you talked to Winters. You were aware of the photo. I don't know if I was aware of it at the time or if it sparked my interest.
Well, then why wouldn't I
Earlier that they
be
had odd photos and things like.
Boucher's photo?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out, because it doesn't make sense.
Scroll to the tippy top and see if it says what I is. If a tree falls in the woods, okay? And then J is a side-by-side photo. and H is the ISP report, which we think is, I don't know what it would be for
Well,
that date.
he says it's the photo where it says that it was attached.
Oh, okay.
So like that's the report from Winters. So H is the report from Winters. I is the photo of the girls in the
From Brad's Facebook.
From Brad's Facebook. And then J is the side by side of,
I'm assuming the Facebook post
Liberty
of the tree and Libby.
I.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I just wanted to clarify that because I'm like, that doesn't really add up. But
okay.
He says something about H, and he's like, of H I just handed you, but it's actually I.
On one side is H, and the other side, what is that?
And he says, that is Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, I mean, it says if a tree falls in the woods. So the one
but didn't we just say that H was the report?
This is where I think it screwed everything up, because I'm thinking that H is the report that says Winters, and on page 2 of Exhibit H. So the provided media is on page 2 of Exhibit H.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, Defendant's Exhibit I is marked for identification. So you've seen this photo. Okay, so the report from Winters, is in. So the report from Winters, this is why it's a separate exhibit. Now I'm understanding. The report from Winters that says provided media is on page 2. That report they got in discovery, and he's claiming it's Exhibit H. Now he drove down to Ryan Boucher in Georgia, got the photo. The photo of the two girls on Brad Holder's Facebook is now Exhibit I. And then Exhibit J is the side-by-side of, it's really of I and Libby.
Mm-hmm.
But he says it's like what was referenced in H.
Got it.
Because there is no media in H. So he's like, on one side is what I just handed you as H, and on the other side, what is that? See, that's the thing. It's not H. It's what he just handed him as I. He just handed it to him as I. He's just saying it wrong. So he screws it up and makes it more confusing. But it's actually I. And if he corrects it later and we just went through all that, I'm going to fucking laugh at myself. Okay, so that doesn't bother you that Brad Holder...
I know he had disturbing photos on there about the Odinism. Yeah, I may have seen this. I can't remember. I've looked at a lot of photos.
Brad Holder, was he at the crime scene? Brad Holder?
I can't put him at the crime scene, no.
But yet he has on his, according to this, the provided media picture showed young unknown girls believed to be deceased with sticks placed over their bodies. Does that bother you that is on, according to Winters' report?
I don't understand what you mean by bother me. I mean, yeah, anything concerning young people that are being portrayed as injured would bother me.
Are you being serious? I mean, you don't look at that and think that has anything to do with, that's even worth investigating Brad Holder?
We did.
Okay. When was Brad Holder covered?
You'd have to look at the reports. I don't know. You'd have to look at it.
Was he being looked at in October of 2017?
October of 2017, I was at the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia. And Bob Burgess was in charge of the investigation until December when I got back. I know before that he was.
Okay.
So after that, while other people were in control of the investigation during that time frame, you'd have to ask them.
You were actually involved in the interview of Elvis down in Rushville or Connorsville?
Yep. I was present with Kevin Murphy. That's what I stated earlier.
It was videotaped, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Don't have it. Do you know where it is?
You have to ask Kevin Murphy.
Okay. Are you in charge of the fucking investigation or not?
He's in charge of nothing, but he reads everything and he remembers nothing.
Goddamn mind. Like, why do I have to ask anybody else? You're in charge here, motherfucker. Like, why don't you know anything?
Mm-hmm. Ask Kevin Murphy. This dumb fat fuck doesn't know that Kevin Murphy's in the hallway right now.
Elvis turns around. Yeah, they're about to ask Kevin Murphy.
Mhm.
Elvis turns around. I'm reading off of that February 2018. Were you in a vehicle with Murphy? Did you guys drive down there together?
No, we did not.
Had you ever heard this story? It's not a story, it's right out of his report. Elvis turned around when he dropped him off at his trailer when Murphy did. Elvis then turns around and comes back to Murphy's car, and Elvis asked Murphy that if his spit is found on one of the girls, but it could be explained away, would he still be in trouble?
I do recall that, yes.
You've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
I do.
What do you think about that?
I'm pretty sure Kevin Murphy would be able to tell you that he followed up on it and quite positive we got his DNA. Again, you say they can be put there, but I don't believe that you can put Elvis on the bridge, near the bridge.
No, I do better than that.
Okay.
I put him at the crime scene.
Okay, I don't.
Well, you sure don't.
Nope. But I do put Richard Allen at the crime scene.
Go ahead. Tell me how that happened.
Ask questions. It's your deposition.
You've already gone through it. What links to the crime scene are there? Other than the magic bullet, what else is there?
Eyewitness testimony, his own admission that he was near the crime scene, and then whatever you call it, magic bullet, I call evidence indicating that a round from his gun was within inches of a girl that was brutally murdered.
I want to talk about that bullet too. I've not seen one single solitary photo of that bullet outside of 3/4 of it being covered in the ground. Do you know if that bullet was ever photographed outside of the ground?
Dude, Andy must have took his medication this morning because he is
Yeah, he's on it.
laser fucking focused.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need to get those photos.
They should be in discovery. Keep looking, I guess.
Anything else about the Delphi supplemental report that was, let's go through very quickly what you had not heard? Alibi, Elvis's alibi. What do you think about that? Did he have a pretty solid alibi?
I wouldn't. I'd have to review the report and see what your. I don't know what your version of alibi is. Tell me what you think.
Well, I don't have the report right here, but
I'd have to look at the report too.
I'm sure of it. But I'll just tell you that. Do you know who Rod Abrams is?
Mm-hmm.
You do.
I do, yes.
Rod Abrams claimed that he, Elvis, and Ned Smith were up in Muncie, and that was found to be not true.
Yes, I do know that they were able to validate that.
Why did Rod Abrams lie?
I don't know why he lied.
Did you ever do this in police practice where you get 3 guys in different rooms and say somebody's going to talk and that's going to be the person that gets the deal? Deal's coming around one time to one person who's talking. Is it going to be you? Have you ever done that?
No, I have not.
You haven't?
His first ever interview must have been Richard Allen. You could tell.
Yeah. That's why
no.
he sucks so bad. He's like, but I went like for 7 weeks of training in Quantico.
Yeah, no.
You don't think that's an appropriate thing to do?
No.
Really?
No.
Did you ever think about rounding up Elvis or having anybody round up Elvis and Rod Abrams in 2 different rooms and talking to them about what happened?
I'm pretty sure they were talked to about what happened.
But were they played off one another since the alibi of Rod Abrams was found to be not true?
Okay, is she robot-y to anybody but me?
I'm robot-y?
Yeah, you all of a sudden got robot-y for me. I'm just waiting to see if anybody says anything.
Robot. Nope, just you.
Jerome, stop fucking with my internet. Say something.
Hello? Is this thing on?
Yeah, let me like refresh because you are robot-y to me.
Okay. Yeah, no. Robot-y. I'm robot-y. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Am I still a robot?
No, you sound normal. Okay, well, now where the fuck was I? Because I don't even.
Mr. Roboto. You're on 24. Page 250, line 24.
Are you sure? Wait, go back because I didn't hear you. So go back to
Oh.
15.
Go back to 15.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's only like 5 lines up.
But you read those, so you didn't. You had okay. Did you ever
I didn't
think
hear
about?
you, so I didn't hear 2 of your questions.
Okay. Did you ever think about like rounding Elvis or like having anybody round up Elvis and Rod Abrams in 2 different rooms and talking to them about what happened?
I'm pretty sure they were talked to about what happened.
But were they like played off one another since the alibi of Rod Abrams was found to be not true?
I know that Jay Harper and Kevin Murphy and those guys interviewed them and talked about it. I don't know if they used that tactic that you mentioned. I would not use that tactic.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just not a tactic I would use at that point.
Like, Rod Abrams, your alibi is bad. We know that it's not true. Tell us what happened.
Maybe that did happen. I don't know. You're looking at the reports. I'm not. And we could probably find more reports that maybe you need to refresh on too, I guess. I don't know.
Is this going to be a situation where you're going to be blaming Murphy and others?
No, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying it's not my report. I was there. I remember everything that you just mentioned. But for more detail, we'd have to look at the other reports, see if there's any other reports on it.
Does Exhibit G, I think it is the 12-page.
Yeah.
We call it the Odin report in our office, the 12-page Odin report. Does that get you like thinking, man, I need to get back out and start investigating?
I need to look at some things, but again, I don't. This is the first time I've seen this report. You may not understand, but I'm concerned that this was turned in, and I don't know why it's not in the proper format that would have been reviewed and approved. This is an unapproved document that slipped through somehow, but yeah.
Amber said on page 10, quote, Amber said that Brad told her that Westfall and his people killed Abigail Williams and Liberty German because one of their mothers was mixing with other people outside of the mother's race. He has powerful friends, end quote. Page 10?
Uh-huh.
You're gonna go back out and talk to Holder and, hey, did you tell Amber that Westfall and his people killed Abigail Williams and Liberty German?
I believe we did. Yes. I'd have to find the report. But like I said, some of this I kind of remember, and I know it was talked about, and there was some follow-up. I know we tried to talk to Logan a couple times. Who and when and where, I'd have to look those reports up. I have to know if he ever looked any of these reports up that he keeps saying he has to look up.
I don't know, but we know that he does end up talking to Brad Holder.
Yeah.
Were you aware that Amber had said that Brad had claimed that Westfall and his people killed Abigail Williams and Liberty German before you showed up here today?
I was aware of some of the comments that she made. I don't recall specifics, but I do know it was concerning the photos that you showed me was mentioned, and that he was saying that Westfall was involved. We've attempted to interview Mr. Westfall. I'm confident we went back and attempted, if not did. I would just have to find it. I would just have to look and see if we can find any other reports.
I have to pause really quick because Catastrophe's in chat, and I miss Catastrophe so much. I love Catastrophe's voice.
Where the fuck have you been?
Right?
It's been months.
We miss you.
You've missed so much. Brad welcomes you back. So does Jerry. And so do these gremlins. You know what else has really missed you, Cat? The toe. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Now Cat's gone for the rest of the year. Good job. Good job.
Her screen broke.
Yeah, you just got to work getting rid of the defense. That's what Holeman does as soon as this is over.
Yep, sure did.
We support Trump. Okay, what do
you didn't?
So you didn't.
Is she really gone? I haven't seen another fucking word.
I don't know. Might be.
If I scared her off, people, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe if we go back to reading, then we'll just happen to see her again.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of came out of the blue. I saw somebody talking to her. I'm like, no, she's not really here. Is she here? It's like, I imagined it. Okay. I would do. What do you do when somebody is not willing to talk to you like Westfall? You just give up, or is there other things that you do? Hi, Carrie.
No, we don't give up. I mean, you can't make people talk to you, but we can look at other information. Like I said earlier to Mr. Rosie, interview other people, phone data, things like that if we can get it. I'm not sure if we did. I'd have to look.
All right. I want to get to Murphy because I have some questions to ask him.
Sure.
I'm going to take you at your word that you will, if there are other suspects out there,
We'll definitely follow up on that.
that you will look into them. You're going to follow up on Exhibit G from this deposition.
Absolutely. Can I get a copy of this? See,
Y-
this motherfucker had copies of these exhibits when he walked out of this place.
Yeah. Well, this is Murphy's report, which he goes into the hallway and he's like, where the fuck did they get this?
Right. And these
You
exhibits
didn't,
from his
you didn't put
deposition
this,
are the ones
you
that got
didn't put
leaked.
this on the right paper. Where the fuck, where did this come from?
But listen, he walked out there with copies of these exhibits. And
Well,
then these exhibits from his deposition were the ones that leaked.
Well, true. I was wondering about like how many times he was left in the room alone. But my issue is he's only getting right now. He's only getting a copy of. He's giving him a copy of Exhibit G, which is Murphy's report, the 12-page report.
Him and Nick, I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. Him and Nick both would have copies of this deposition and the exhibits.
Let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's a supplemental report. Photos. 1.
The supplemental report, I think, is the one that we've gotten. The Odin report, I don't think we've gotten. I think we got the supplement.
No, the Odin report is the 12. That's what they call the 12-page report.
That's but I'm saying the report that we've read, that we've called the Odin report, I think that's Murphy's supplemental report.
Yeah, this right here.
Right. So we still haven't seen the Odin report.
All the photos that were leaked, I'm just trying to see which of these photos are part of the photos that
the two side-by-sides.
The two side-by-sides.
Uh-huh. Abby, the picture of Abby and the picture of Libby. Like separate.
Libby, separate.
Stick photos.
There's still another photo
tree
that was
marking.
Released.
The F tree is D. And then you have to remember that there was like one or two that went out in the leak that Rosie testified on the stand that he had never seen before. So they weren't in this batch of stuff.
This is Murphy's report. No? No, the H is Ryan Winter's report. H is Ryan Winter's report. G is the 12-page Odin report by Murphy. This is G. That's the 12-page Odin report. That's what he asked for a copy of. That's what he says I'll give a copy to.
Okay.
But H is Winter's 2-page report that on the second page is where it says the digital media is attached, but there's actually no attachment, which is why then there's I.
Right.
For the paper. Okay. Sorry. Okay. You know, you guys could hear it that loud. Sorry. Hey, Mav. Okay. Okay. So he asked for the copy of G. So there's another crime scene photo that's leaked, though, that is not listed in this one. But I'm going to tell you the majority of them are. They're from this. They're from this. The side-by-side with Libby. The side-by-side with Abby. Abby's photo, which is the other angle.
The sticks.
The sticks.
The F tree. Tree marking.
F tree. It might be 4 pages, but on page 2 is what it says is that's where the digital media is supposed to be attached to his blank. It could be 4 pages. I don't know. I'm just saying on page 2, it doesn't have the digital media that's supposed to be there. But this is definitely, G is definitely Murphy's Odin report that they refer to as the Odin report. Okay, let me go back there. So we're on like 250. Where are we at? I lost my page. Sorry, guys.
254.
Got it.
And I guess 12. We're back to Rosie.
So, but it is interesting that the photos that got leaked are literally from Holeman's deposition, but I don't know because we don't have Liggett's and Lesenby's and we don't have those. I don't know.
The whole contempt thing is them saying that it come from his deposition. That's how he recognized that they were from the defense, because they were ones shown in his deposition.
Right, but I'm saying we don't know that they didn't show them the same side by side, same things. We don't know if they showed them to like Lesenby and Liggett because we don't have their depots.
So why didn't they say for the contempt stuff that we all recognized it as something that the defense created?
Because that's hearsay.
Well, you know they weren't
There's
going to put
supposedly
Tove up
another
there.
photo out of both girls, though. Both girls, same crime scene, like same, like all encompassed of the crime scene, and we don't. That's not in Holeman's.
Well, the narrative was that they got leaked from the Franks motion exhibits, but that's not that. I'm not saying that's not true because I don't think it came from them at all.
Well, it didn't. They were already in the hands of the people who were putting them out on the internet before the Franks memo was ever released.
Also, how did the Franks memo exhibits, how could they have possibly been leaked when the people that they were physically handed to at Allen County Superior Court don't even know where the fuck they're at?
Probably because they gave them out to the public.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, are they lost because Jody lost them? Someone stole them from her desk and she didn't want to tell nobody, and now that's why she can't provide them to anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows where they're at. See, I think they forget that they told me a year ago nobody knew where the fuck that shit was.
Oh, that would be interesting to send to the appellate attorneys. Like, good luck finding them.
Yeah, if they'd pay any attention, they don't seem to give a damn really what anybody else has to say. And I don't just mean like us. I mean like everybody, attorneys and everything.
Right.
So
exchange drawers.
Let me shut my mouth. Maybe I've seen requests for Kathy Shank to come in and find these exhibits, and I think that's appropriate this time. Oh, Arnie. Come here, I'll pet you.
That could mean that Gold ruled on the hearing without looking at the evidence. Well, she could have given 2 shits about the evidence. I absolutely believe that she ruled on it without looking at anything.
See, you don't have to be crazy. I'm the only person that's ever here. Crazy. You don't have to bark. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So Baldwin wraps it up and says, that's all the questions I have for now. So then Rosie comes back in and he's like, Officer Holeman. Trooper Holeman.
Go to bed.
Go to bed, puppies. Yeah.
What, Teresa?
Shank's drawers are probably muddy and bloody. I said, so Officer Holeman, Trooper Holeman, first of all, I'm kind of listening to this exchange with this report that what Mr. Baldwin has referenced. Do you have some reason to believe, or are you concerned that somehow we put together a report on our own and are giving it to you?
So is this going, sorry, I'm asking a question. Is this going back to is he touching back on the fact that he repeatedly said that he doesn't like that it's a Word document? Is that what he's kind of getting at?
Yeah. You have a bigger issue with the fact that that it was on a Word document. Hi, Michael.
Look under Whiteman for the exhibits, Ma. Shank.
Okay. Ma Shank.
Ma, you know she's just the meddlingest ma that ever existed. She has her nose in everybody's business. You know it.
How long is this depo pages? So it is 274 pages.
And we're on 254 right now.
We're on 254. We've taken a while to read it because, of course, we have other commentary. So if you like, we're going back like on ours. It's 4, 6, 8, probably 10 hours total of reading it with commentary.
No, this is only our third part 3.
Right. So we did 4 hours the first time, 2 hours the second time. This one will probably end up being 3 hours.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 hours total with commentary,
Yikes.
I'd say. But it says it's
But we're
416.
funny sometimes. So.
Sometimes. It says it's 416, but the back is like the index. So people like see it
tricked us.
416, but it's not. It's like 274. So
Okay,
just a heads up. So we're at 254 currently. Yeah,
right,
about 20 pages to go. I just asked you if you're concerned that we just made this document up and handed it to you.
No, I don't believe that. I believe maybe it came from Ferenczi. Maybe he summarized what him and Murphy and Purdy were doing. Maybe that's why I haven't seen this. If Purdy and Murphy did this report, I wouldn't expect them to do this because this is not our standard operating procedure on how to turn in a report. Joke's on you, sir.
I just want to make sure.
It's not that. I didn't see it.
I know you haven't looked at the whole thing.
Yeah, I skipped around.
You're not suggesting that we somehow concocted this report for the purposes of today.
No, I'm just telling you I've never seen this report, and it's not in the standard state police report format. And maybe it was made by Greg Ferenczi. I don't know. It doesn't really say. But I'll find out, and I'll look into all the information in here, and I'll see if we already followed up on it. If we did, I'll provide those reports. If not, we will.
So come to find out, they do re-interview Westfall, which that means they've never followed up with Westfall. They do re-interview Holder, which means they never followed up with Holder. I mean, there are things happening after this that kind of indicate, like, why are you, if you already have all this done and you have all these reports that you're saying exist, but you don't know where they are currently, you have no reason to go talk to any of these fucking people because you guys already did your job 7 years ago.
There should be another Holeman deposition. I don't know how. There must be.
If
there's not, I don't know why there wouldn't be. Because after they interviewed Westfall, because remember, when they did leave this and re-interview him, they wanted to get a download of his phone. And for all that it looks like to me, the man went and got a fucking burner phone, used it for like a week and had nothing on it, and they gave it to him. And that's what he downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
With nothing on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's blaming this Word document on Ferenczi because Ferenczi was an ISP, so maybe he's the one who wrote it, and that's why it looks different, which would also go with Doolin because he was, the conservation guy. So maybe the report just looks different because somebody else wrote it. What he's going to find out is that it was Murphy, and you too bad, so sad.
He was deposed again in 2024. That's the one. I need to see that.
I want to see that one.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk about, let me make sure I'm clear. Let's talk about Brad Holder, okay?
Okay.
So you acknowledge that Brad Holder was a suspect in this case?
I said that, yeah. If I remember correctly, he said he was not really.
Yes, but also he testifies that he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was a person of interest. You were looking at him with some interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And that was around the time of the circumstances, the murders that occurred in this case, right?
It was early, yes.
And at some point, this guy named Brian Boucher, which is Ryan, apparently reached out to some of your people to communicate some things that he had learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And based on what's at least in the report that he offered up these images and photographs and things, I think there's even a reference in the Winters report that there was a Dropbox attachment. Did you see that at the bottom?
I did.
Did you guys have a Dropbox that you used?
I believe so, yes.
And did that Dropbox, was that a place like a central repository? Sounds like an old phrase from a Kennedy story. That's a depository. But is that what it was, where people could access it and get information easily?
I believe so. I've used Dropbox occasionally, but not very often.
Okay, and is it fair to say that whatever he would have given you in this meeting, whether it was these images or other things, that it would have been accessible to your team?
Yes.
And to the extent that the report mentions that there are formations on the girls' bodies, these stick formations, that are consistent with these images that were uploaded, would that have caught your attention immediately?
I'm sure we've seen this. I'm sure we've.
Yeah, well, I'm asking, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen this photo before, not him.
You're familiar with that photo. You're talking about Exhibit I?
Mm-hmm.
My vision's bad, but that's what you're talking about, right?
I've seen I believe it was in a screenshot form off of somebody's web page. I didn't see this actual.
Definitely similarities between I and the one below it. I can't read that letter, right? J? Or the
J, a few.
I'm not suggesting that I is a real photograph, but there are similarities clearly between the circumstances and the way the bodies are laying and things like that, right?
Yes.
Enough that if you saw that in the course of your investigation, you would be like, we need to look into this.
And we did.
Did you go back to Brad Holder and talk to him about Image Eye?
Me personally, no.
Do you have any recollection of anybody doing that?
I'm going to look into it and I'll find out and let you know.
Are you aware that in your report, one of the reports, that it was actually referenced that Logan Holder dumped his phone and sold his vehicle around the time of these murders?
Who did?
Logan Holder.
The son?
Yeah.
I believe that sounds familiar.
Would that cause you some concern?
Yes.
Did you follow up on that?
Me personally, no. I'll look into it and find out.
And with regard to these sticks here, which would be referenced, this is a terrible way to do this, but on Exhibit F, you've seen these before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop real quick.
No, because
Logan, it
keep
clarifies
going.
it? Okay.
Mhm.
You're not disputing that this image on the left, the comparison, came from Holder's Facebook page, right?
I'm not disputing that, no.
And the image on the right is clearly the one that was at the crime scene.
That is correct.
You've already acknowledged to Mr. Baldwin that there's some similarities there.
Yes.
And again, starting to put the pieces together, each of these individually doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but when you start to kind of join them, it definitely warrants some response, doesn't it?
And I believe we did respond. Yes. I'll look into it for you.
Now let's talk about Patrick Westfall again.
Okay.
Are you aware that in your own reports, there's references that Patrick Westfall and Brad Holder frequented this trail together?
No, this is not a state police report.
I'm asking you if you're aware that that's been reported to your law enforcement agencies, any of your investigation.
Are you referring to G?
I don't know if it's in that report. I'm saying, are you aware that that has been reported to your investigative team?
That
Those two guys had spent time on that trail.
I don't recall that, no.
Would that be something that you think you would stand out to you?
Yes.
And I think we covered this earlier, but are you aware that the two of them have openly communicated via social media that they're involved in this Odin group?
Yes.
Not really any dispute about that.
No.
And you are aware that there was actually a video that was offered up to one of your investigators, I think Mr. Baldwin mentioned this earlier, of Brad Holder conducting a pagan ritual where they were marking a tree?
I don't recall that, no.
If it's in your police reports or in your investigative materials, would you have any reason to dispute that that had occurred?
I would want to read it and make sure it's true and accurate what you're saying it says.
You haven't heard anything about that?
No.
In fact, a fact that if you heard would probably stand out in your mind.
I think that would, yeah.
He asked you about Amber Holder. You know she cooperated with the police, right?
Right.
She was basically an informant as it relates to her former husband, right? That you were investigating?
Yes.
And at one point, she actually told your investigators that he was drunk one night and was telling her about how he was in the woods conducting a ritual with Westfall.
I don't know who wrote that report, but yeah. I recall hearing information about Amber's information.
Near a river.
Yes.
All things that are very consistent with what occurred in this case.
Very consistent, yes.
He asked you, I think, earlier about the fact that these two girls, there was at least some comments about them being murdered because their parents were mixing races. You're familiar with that allegation?
I'm somewhat familiar, yeah. I don't know if there's any truth to those allegations.
The truth is that those words were uttered in the investigation in this case, right?
Yes.
And are you aware that Amber Holder reported to your investigative team that Brad Holder specifically told her that Westfall had killed people in the past?
Yes.
Johnny Messer is the one you don't know, right?
I don't know him.
So we got Holder up here in this area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Westfall live?
I'm not exactly sure where Westfall lives.
Connorsville, Rushville?
Connorsville. No, he fucking lived in Delphi.
You
So,
live in
okay.
Delphi, you idiots. Are you, and you got Johnny Messer. Would you be surprised to find out that he lives down in Rushville?
No, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying I wasn't, told about it. I just don't remember who Johnny Messer is.
There was a woman named Taylor Hardaway. Does that sound familiar?
Not till today.
Johnny Messer's girlfriend. Do you have any reason to dispute that she
I've never spoken to her.
reported the various facts to your law enforcement authorities?
I'd have to see him.
If I told you she told your officers that Westfall and Brad Holder were two of the most violent people she knew, would that be a surprise to you?
What officers are you referring to? Do you have that in a report?
Well, I'm just telling you, if it's in your report, hypothetically, would that be a surprise to you?
I mean, nothing surprises me anymore, but no.
There was a reference in one of the reports that Hornaday, Messer's girlfriend, suggested that these two were fighting around Valentine's Day of 2017 because he was up here running around with some Vinlanders, she said. Does that sound?
I saw that in this report. Yeah, first time I saw that.
Would that cause you to be concerned about his involvement in this case?
Not really, but it will be followed up on, and I'll look into it like everything else.
Are you aware that your report suggests that Miss Hornaday told your officers, actually it was Officer Click, I recall, out of maybe Rushville or some other, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think he's like the chief down there.
Yeah, that she told him that Messer actually admitted to her that he had killed somebody before. You follow up on any of that?
I'm sure whoever you're referring to as your report, this isn't my report, and I'm going to say it's not a state police report.
You're on the Central Command or Unified Command.
I don't recall anybody telling me that, no.
Were you aware that your team actually obtained a search warrant for Hornaday's phone
Okay.
in 2018? Does that sound familiar at all?
Who?
Your team got a search warrant for Messer's girlfriend's phone.
What part of my team?
I don't know. I just know it's in the report.
Okay.
Do you have any reason to dispute that?
No.
And that when they did that, they were attempting to confirm what she was telling them about Johnny Messer, which makes sense, right?
Right.
You'd go get search warrant to corroborate her statements, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Are you aware that in those recordings, your own investigators actually discovered audio recordings where Messer was offering up money to another individual trying to hire somebody to make a hit for him? Did you know that?
No.
None of that sounds familiar.
I'll have to review the report.
I guess the question is, if those kinds of things are going on and they were surrounding this investigation, do you think you would have forgotten those things?
Possibly. I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, obviously what you're saying.
Well, do you remember any side investigations because you recovered an audio recording of somebody who said they were trying to hire a hitman?
I don't remember any side investigations.
Like, hey, maybe we got to talk to the local authorities and see what's going on with that. Do you remember doing any of that?
I don't remember, but it possibly could have been done. Again, if this was done by Terre Haute and those people weren't communicating with us, no, I wouldn't know. If they were doing that investigation on their own and communicated with Murphy and Purdy, and they were just giving me bits and pieces of the information, then yeah, I would assume they're following up on it. If they're telling me, hey, this is what happened, then I would.
I guess my thing is, it doesn't seem like this stuff is kind of resonating with you at this point. So it must not have been a material part of your investigation. That's kind of the way I'm feeling about it.
I mean, you have to realize I've been in here, 6 hours now? I'm getting tired. I'm trying to remember everything. I was very appreciative that you gave me information that I could prepare for, but the stuff that these names weren't on that. so I didn't have time to prepare.
The people we're talking about are part of the 17 names that are on that list.
Hmm.
By the way, it's the first time I've ever given a prosecutor even an inkling of an outline in doing this.
Well, have you ever worked a case this big with this much information?
No, neither one of us has.
Me either. So it helps you to help me so I can prepare. I'll go back and prepare.
Hold on a minute. Let's keep talking about Messer and this gang of Rushville people. So if I told you that in that report there was a second recording that was recovered from Amber Hornaday's phone that had Johnny Messer talk about holding a suspect hostage and shooting someone, would that kind of resonate with you?
I've never seen this report. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about a report that I've never seen.
If that kind of information was unearthed by your team, don't you think you being in the Central Command or the Unified Command would have known that?
Should have, yeah. But like you mentioned, there were side investigations that wasn't getting relayed to us. So communication or the lack of would cause this not to be. That's why I don't remember it. I've never seen this report. I only know bits and pieces of what you're talking about.
Elvis Fields, also a Rushville guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're starting to see even more of the connection. We got Holder up here. We got Westfall down there. We got Johnny Messer. We've got Elvis Fields. Definitely some connections here, right?
That's what you say. I'd have to review all these reports and all this data again.
If I'm taking it from your report, then it's okay for me to rely on that, right?
I mean, you could be taking it out of context. I don't know. I'd have to read it myself, Brad, and I will. I want to be prepared. I want to give you an accurate.
You know Elvis had a sister named Mary Jacobs.
Yes.
You know that Mary Jacobs was very helpful to you, your team, in reporting all this stuff?
She's the one that I referred to earlier that was told was a bit crazy.
My recollection is that she reported that Elvis admitted to her that he was on the bridge with the girls that had just been killed, and he is now a part of a gang, I think is what he said. Do you recall that?
I recall.
And you were trying to determine the veracity of her statements. So you had her polygraphed, right?
Somebody did, yes.
And we use those polygraphs in court. They're pretty important, pretty liable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sharon's tired too. And she passed that polygraph.
I'd have to look at it.
Would you be surprised to find that?
No.
You think maybe it might be time to kind of take a second look at this and kind of piece this together? Or are you kind of like, we've already covered this?
No, I think we'll take a look at some of the stuff, but I think the focus should be on Richard Allen and the evidence against Richard Allen.
Tunnel vision, right?
No, not tunnel vision.
Well, we've got people in this room already that have said that there's potentially more than one person involved in this.
Potentially, yeah.
So it might be that some of these people were involved.
I don't think so, but we'll definitely look into it.
It's possible.
Anything's possible.
He mentioned the spit comment earlier that caught everybody's attention, right? From Elvis?
Refresh my memory.
That Elvis at some point got out of your officer's car and was walking into his home and turned around and came back. I think it was Murphy or Winters, and told him that if his spit was on one of the girls' body, would he be in trouble? That raised some eyebrows.
Right. I do remember Kevin talking about that.
And then the alibi problems between Ned Smith and Elvis and I think Messer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're starting to see connections now between all of these people in the crime scene, aren't we?
I don't know about crime scene, but there is a connection with the people, yes.
I don't have any further questions. Now, Baldwin's going to pop back in. I guess we're going to get the clarification about the car, because that was what I was going to fix earlier. Baldwin says, I've got 3 quick ones. So first, I think it's Brad Holder that sold his car.
It wasn't Logan. That's what I was thinking. I don't think Logan had a car.
I want to ask you, am I in danger?
Are you in danger?
Yes, with Odinites.
Are you?
Should I be worried about that?
Are you involved in it? I don't know.
Here's what I'm concerned about. You said here plainly multiple times Richard Allen did this. Richard Allen did this. Richard Allen did this, right?
Yes, sir.
And with that attitude, you're going to go in and claim that you're going to investigate this fairly, all this stuff that you've not heard before. I don't believe it.
Have I ever told you anything and I didn't follow up on it?
No, but I have definitively experienced police officers in my 30 years of doing this that fix their problems. Like, fix their problems.
Is that a question?
Are you going to fix these problems, or are you going to actually look for the truth?
I'm going to look for the truth, but I think I've already found the truth. But I definitely will look into this, no doubt about it. And I will find out if we've done the follow-ups and I don't know about it. And I will let Prosecutor McClellan know, and he can forward that information to you.
That's all I have. Rosie says, you want to review and sign? Witness
Yes, I
says,
do.
yes, I do.
But then he
Yeah.
didn't sign, right?
Well, not on this one.
Or is it the other one that he doesn't sign, the 2024 one?
Well, I don't remember. I don't know why he keeps calling them Odinites. Odinites are rocks. Narrator comes in, says he did not. Ultimately, Jerry Holeman, the witness, did not look for the truth.
He tried to take care of the problem. He tried to
He
fix it.
tried to fix the problem. Oh, you made it through. Now I can't stop yawning. You yawned, and now I can't stop yawning.
I know, they're contagious. I'm sorry. I even moved to the couch because I was like, maybe I shouldn't sit in my bed.
So, okay, at least they did fix the whole Logan didn't sell a car. It was Brad who sold his car, which is also still an interesting fact to know. That Brad sold his car, moved, shaved, he did all kinds of, he changed everything, which was the whole, what they call it, the profile of what the killer was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically,
Uh-oh.
Lesenby did somewhat the same thing. He signed it, but it got overwritten. Which one did he really not? Did he not sign one? I don't know. My memory's bad now. I'm like, I don't even know Jerry anymore. You've made up so much shit that like you've got my brain all kerfuffled. And that's exactly what they do. I don't know. Is there ever anything in this entire deposition where Jerry says, I did do that? Like, that was me. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
he
I
actually
feel like
followed
no.
up on it. Everything is like, you'd have to talk to Purdy. You'd have to talk to Murphy. You'd have to talk to Liggett. That'd be better asked of so-and-so. And if it's somebody that they're, that he's just like, totally disagree. It's like, I don't trust him as much as others. I have no idea. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Even the former prosecutor.
Right. 100%. That was the point. He didn't investigate shit. I don't know. But okay. So in his, and I know I keep repeating this and I'm sorry, but in his interviews, people asked him who was in charge of the investigation. And he said it was Tobe Lesenby. And that day when the girls were found, he asked Tobe Lesenby if Tobe wanted ISP to take over. And Tobe said no. We've got this. And
yeah, but
Holeman
he's literally gotten rewards as the lead investigator.
What? That's what I don't understand.
Right.
And he even says here that when he went to the FBI for his training, that Bob took over for the 7 weeks, took over the investigation until he got back, and then he was back in charge. When the fuck does he become in charge? Why is that like not something that we know? He legit says Tobe did not hand over the investigation to him, so he offered all the resources of the ISP. Do you see? Like, and then Tobe just disappeared.
Nobody wants to take accountability or responsibility for everything. That's what I think it is, unless they're getting an award. You know what I'm saying?
Jay Harper is the lead on the state lab reports in 2022. I feel like he became in charge when KK became the lead suspect. Maybe because that's also like the same time like they boot the FBI. Carroll County was lead, but ISP's resources took precedence. But he's still, when did he become like the official lead investigator of the case? Liggett is probably happy to not be in charge of this shit show. Maybe it does have to do with when KK was taken over, but that still doesn't make any sense because they never at the beginning of this were like solid on the fact that the murderer was from Delphi. Like that was never anything that was like solidly written. They could have been somebody traveling through. Remember, there was the whole thing about the truck drivers and he has never been the lead investigator of the case. Well, but they call him the lead investigator of the case, but he said he wasn't. There's something up with the Tobe situation. I can't let it go, guys. I don't know. Bugging me, dude. It's bugging me. I want to see Tobe's deposition. Why Tobe changed his story to about why Richard Allen was transferred. He becomes like non-existent in the world of anything. They don't have him testify.
I think it might be because, like I said, he was tipped in. So maybe they didn't want him to be the lead. And they had to look into him. Remember, he said they had to look in. They looked into him multiple times or whatever.
Right. They did. Yeah, they interviewed him and everything. Tobe wasn't a detective. He was the sheriff. So Tobe didn't do lead detective stuff. He delegated to others and done sheriff stuff. I understand that, but what I'm saying is like he literally is like wiped off the face of the earth when it comes to anything Delphi. Once like he's not the sheriff anymore. Like they act like he never even existed in the investigation. Nobody ever goes back and is like, well, Tobe was doing this. The Carroll County sheriff was doing this. Like they don't do that. It's like Tobe's just gone. And then they act like Jerry Holeman is the lead investigator. Well, he specifically stated he wasn't. I missed that comment that you just took down.
Hold on. Now that they pulled this off with Richard Allen, they will try it with more of us.
Well, I think they absolutely are.
I mean, I've been saying that. That's really the danger in this and allowing this to be happening and not saying something.
Did Carter
not
talk
fixing
about
it?
Release the Tobe. Okay, did Carter talk about this as well? I believe he stated the county it was always the lead.
This is a good
Liggett
point
signing
too.
the PCA instead of Tobe was weird too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be because he was considered a suspect. Like, he was tipped in and interviewed a bunch of times. So my question would be, in order for a defense to not be able to use that against them in their case, did they keep him off of stuff like, oh, you had someone in? So let's say that Tobe signed the warrant for search and arrest of Richard Allen. And then they got all of the discovery and the defense got all the discovery. They could have came back and said, so the person that was suspected of being the killer was the one that is arresting our client. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But like who this says, Jerry was tipped in as well. I believe Liggett was tipped in as well, but I was going to say that earlier, but I don't remember why I think that. So
are you sure about both of those two things?
No, that's why I couldn't pinpoint where I've heard that, but I'm pretty sure I've heard that Liggett was tipped in.
But Jerry too?
No, I don't know if that's what they just said in chat.
I'll look into that. I'm not sure about that, but I can look and see for sure if that's the case or not. If they weren't, then the other
brother was into
explanation
some
makes
weird
sense.
satanic stuff. He believes it was the brother, but it might be somebody else. But somebody related to Tobe was also into some weird satanic stuff.
Oh, this just gets more fun, like, by the day.
Right. Carbon, make us a video. We want to watch it. Tobe and Carter both talked about it on Murder Shits. On who was in charge of the investigation?
I do not volunteer myself for that. Don't dox me. Someone else can do that. I'll be honest, I didn't even listen to Tobe and Carter's interview. I literally stopped listening to everything that comes out of those two fuckwads' faces.
Jerry said it at CrimeCon that he was tipped in, but he thinks he's too fat.
That was probably his dumb ass just trying to be funny.
Well,
Oh,
he also said that one sketch was Mike Patty.
correct. I literally was just about to say that. So I think they just talk shit, man. I think they just like to be the centers of attention.
Tobe's wife's aunt.
No.
I'm trying to say it the way that Sleuthy says it.
Yes.
Tobe's wife's aunt is Teresa Liebert.
Who is one of the witnesses who saw a sketchy looking motherfucker in the morning by the south end of the bridge, technically.
And then
Tobe's
I really want to know is, what did Tobe and Carter fight about before the 2019 press conference?
You should email Tobe. Has anyone reached out to Tobe?
MS apparently did.
Who?
MS.
I mean, I could totally get his email address if you don't have it.
Try to do a timeline of who was in charge when. Good luck. Good luck with that. Hi, Punksy.
Yeah, good luck. I have a lot of other shit to do. I don't know that my blood pressure can take it.
It's like they all say they were in charge. Somebody said that Liggett said that he was lead, which would actually make more sense if Carroll County maintained the agency in charge. Then Tobe being the sheriff, putting Liggett in charge of the investigation would make more sense.
Okay, but basically everybody that did everything was from everywhere else besides there. Like the crime scene people was ISP and FBI.
Because Carter doesn't outrank Tobe though. I mean, they're not in the same. They're not in the same thing.
Yeah, but well, I guess it would be jurisdictional, and so like state police.
It's Carroll County jurisdiction.
What?
That's why they got to maintain the lead. Tobe wouldn't have been able to be booted off by Carter. It was his jurisdiction. It's Tobe's jurisdiction.
Yeah, but how would that not be the jurisdiction of the state police? I don't think that's true, because around here, like the town cops and the county cops basically do nothing. Well, not here where I live now, but there where I lived before. Like I saw like 2 town cops. I don't know that I've seen hardly any county cops. But like if you get pulled over in town or on the interstate or anywhere, or there's an arrest anywhere, or you call 911 and the police come out, it was always state police. Like the West Virginia State Police are the ones that were like coming out to regular calls.
So let me do a Cecil real quick. So it says the Indiana State Police do not outrank a county sheriff. The 2 agencies have separate jurisdictions, and the sheriff is generally considered the highest ranking law enforcement officer within their county. The sheriff's office enforces the law throughout the county and often has additional duties like running the county jail and the courthouse security. The sheriff is typically an elected official, giving them higher level of authority in the county.
But you're talking about a really small town, though.
No, I'm not talking about the town. I'm talking about the county.
Well,
otherwise you'd have fucking Mullen. That Mullen would have been in charge. It's outside of Delphi, but it's in the county of Carroll. So Carroll County gets the lead.
What county people went to the crime scene?
This is why I think it's like they pull the resources from like these other places, and so they use the other counties' people. So like
fuck, now I have the hiccups.
Multi-agency investigation now.
Oh,
right.
Damn it.
Carter said ISP was taking over both cases to the ACLU. When was that?
Oh, please. They would never. For what? For why? Why would they want to do that?
Right.
That would not benefit them in any way.
The old Cass County sheriff that used to be a Carroll County cop back in the day would probably talk as well. We should get a hold of them, Hootis.
Oh, god damn it. Why do I have the hiccups?
Because you've been yawning, and so now you've captured all this extra air.
It's
Okay,
bullshit.
so in practice, the two agencies work together on cases and cooperate with each other based on jurisdiction, often with a city police department handling local issues within its limits and the sheriff's office covering the unincorporated areas.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay,
The
so I
primary
think I figured it out.
Well, let me finish reading this so I can get rid of it.
Go
So
ahead.
the primary role of the Indiana State Police is to enforce state laws and patrol state highways across the entire state. They work on a different tier and typically focus on broader or multi-jurisdictional cases and traffic
Yes.
enforcement. There you go.
So that's exactly what I was thinking. So like the county couldn't, oh goddamn, or couldn't or wouldn't go outside of the county to like interview people and do all that stuff, but state police can. Just like state police technically really like aren't supposed to like be, oh my God, doing subpoenas and like search warrants and stuff for things that are outside the state, and that's usually when you'd get the FBI to come in and help because they could do that. So considering this was what it was, and they were investigating quite a lot of people outside the county, maybe that would be why.
Well, that's what they were saying, like about that maybe Jerry like took over as lead when KK was their prime suspect.
Well, that was like right away. That was like week 2. And they did nothing. That makes it's still, has anybody asked, has a single reporter asked anybody why they knew that Keegan Klein had a bunch of CSAM on a bunch of devices
No, nobody's
for
ever fucking
years
asked
and didn't arrest him? Nobody's
No.
ever asked that?
No.
I don't understand.
Yeah, just out there torturing other kids. Yeah. No
Yeah.
idea.
How has not a single
That's true.
reporter asked that?
Who? Yeah, they did, Mav? Who asked? I want to know.
This is torture.
Yeah, Jerry didn't ascend until the arrest. They used a one fight, one team approach. They knew for several years prior to 2017, according to Who Dis. Nobody made a mistake on purpose. That's true, Mav.
That is a complete non-answer.
That's literally, that's the training he went to.
Well, the Anthony Shots info. Okay, so what I'm saying is, once the Keegan Klein stuff came out, he was arrested and all that, and the documents became public, and it was very much obvious in black and white to the whole world that in 2017 they had in their hands evidence from multiple devices of Keegan Klein's of CSAM and his catfishing and victimization. Why did no one say, you didn't refine this information in 2021? You've had it 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Why did no one arrest him? Just a flat out question like that, straight and to the point. Why did no one arrest him for all those years and leave him out here to victimize more people? Nobody's saying it's a mistake. We're asking you why you chose to do that.
I just don't. It's like you'll never get a straight answer from any of these people. They won't tell the truth.
But
none of their stories
that's
match
true.
because they don't tell the truth.
That's true, but I also feel like the media is really, absolutely, really very shitty at their jobs in terms of asking very direct questions.
They don't. Well, they're not allowed to do that anymore. And then if you get an interview with a Holeman or a Nick, then you're only allowed to ask the questions that they'll allow. Like they're not going to just answer anything. They just don't do it. That seems to be the slogan. It's like, it's not my job. Somebody else probably did it.
Tammy, that is one of my.
I was clicking on it.
That is one of my most. It's in my top 10 list of things that I can't fucking believe he said in this deposition. is that basically they wanted to see if the killer would be active again. I mean, that is just fucking. We wanted. So I've seen. I get the tactic of trying to, the word I'm looking for, trying to,
Lure?
what is it?
Lure?
No, like where you in a different type of strategy. Let's say I get on there and I say, you know, the person who did this is weak and a pussy, and like you're trying to antagonize, maybe
Can't be
that's the word I'm
something
looking for. Entice. I
enticing.
was thinking that might have been it, something like that.
I see
I
what you're
could see
saying.
them doing that to try to get them to like maybe try to correct the record. Like look at Dennis Rader.
Yeah.
Like something like that. Bait them, yeah. Things like provoke. Yes, provoke. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. But to be like, we were just throwing it out there to see if like they'd go back out and kill somebody again, and this time maybe leave some evidence behind is just fucking mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. Fuck those people that he killed. We
Mm-hmm.
don't care about that. We just wanted to see if we could get him to do it again.
But this time leave evidence.
Yeah. Or the missing pieces of DNA that we didn't have.
I don't understand. I if he was to, and I would love to talk to whoever's going to do Rick's post conviction. Can I just say this? Can I just get this off my chest real fast?
Do
People
it.
were so against Michael and Kara helping with post conviction investigation while this appeal was happening. And there are particular motherfuckers who have been out here saying it's all being taken care of. What if there's this like
No.
big attorney that's going to take care of all these things and do this and that? The fucking appeal was filed in March. Nothing has happened. Literally. They haven't even been able to even review all the shit because they don't even have it yet.
No, this
So,
shit takes years.
so I hope that I'm sure they don't feel that they've obstructed help for Rick in any way. But by God, you have obstructed help for Rick in all the ways. And now he's way far away. No one's put eyes on him. And nothing's being done to help him. Which I'm really inclined to think that you motherfuckers wanted it to be that way. I really am. I was suspicious back then. Now I've almost convinced myself that this is exactly what was wanted.
Yeah, I agree.
No movement whatsoever. And they're getting exactly what they asked for.
Well,
What
they
they
didn't
pushed
want.
for.
I don't think it had. I think it has to do with the fact that these people want all the information to themselves. They don't want anybody else having the information, and if they're not on the good side of these people, then they don't get the information. Like it's that whole culture thing that we were talking about earlier. It's like let's do everything we can to disparage and that's not the word I'm looking for, but to like make it so these people are terrible human beings on the internet, so then nobody wants to talk to them or nobody will use them for help. Yes, I'm getting Kayla.
I mean, are we like a part? Are we in part talking about the investigators?
I think it's
Because
just
I don't think they know shit. Me personally, when all the shit was going down and there was arguments about getting their notes and all that shit, my opinion was fuck their notes. I don't want their notes. If I was the attorneys going in a post conviction investigation, I don't fucking want their notes.
No, I want to start. I'd start from scratch. Give me discovery, and I will fucking do it myself.
No, Lynn, a civil rights lawsuit never got filed. No, even though that was one of the talking points was they're going to get an attorney to do the civil rights things. No, nobody wanted to be honest.
That's what
It
it
was
is.
so bizarre. There are
Mhm.
people who are pretending to have a bunch of information that they don't fucking have. They've done their investigation. And I'll tell you something. I've heard of some of what the investigations looked like. Trash. Total fucking trash. Like repeats of shit we read on Reddit 8 years ago when all this shit started happening.
Yep.
Like way back to square one. So I don't pay attention to anything that like that entire group of people are saying, because it's all bullshit. It's all like, I have all this information, but I'm only going to give you bits and pieces of it so you don't realize that I really don't have any fucking information. I have a bunch of pieces of little puzzles that I've put together in my when I walked into this, I was convinced that these cases were connected and these cops were dirty. And so now I'm trying to fit all the things together. And what I'm forgetting is that fucking Richard Allen didn't kill anybody and he's in prison.
Yes.
And part of my job was to like look into things that would make that not happen. And instead I went off on my drugs and CIs, and nobody fucking decided to look and see maybe what Rick was doing that day, or like look up his Google shit to see what his Google shit was saying he was at. Like actual things that might have been helpful. We know all this stuff. We know all this stuff, and we worked so closely, but we never saw the bridge guy video until it was played in court. Like, it's just insanity to me. It's a lot of attention. I know stuff that you don't know, and I know you want to know, and you fucked Rick. Many people have fucked him.
Yeah,
if he
I'm
dies, I blame
really
you.
tired of that whole like, I know all this and you don't know this, and I know this and you don't know this. And it's like, we're way past that shit, dude. Like, if you have factual information that could either help,
put it out there. I don't want to
or
hear another person say, I'm not talking about it because the case is a retrial. You will have nothing to do with a retrial. Nothing. You will be not involved, period.
right.
In a retrial, period. You will not.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. So I HA video, drunk driving HA video. I don't know what that is.
Who's HA?
The HR interview with Libby's mom, Carrie.
Who's HR? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that is, but that just sounds like more of the same.
Right.
Here's the problem. These people are like rogue on their own, investigating whatever it is they're investigating, but they've shunned lawyers who can actually help them do shit. Like, your information means nothing if no one that's able to file shit with a court is able to do that, because you refuse to share. And you don't want anyone to have anything to do with it.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but if you're sending shit to the appellate attorneys, then I'm also going to blame you for the fact that shit hasn't been filed yet, because that is not their job. Don't be sending shit to the appellate attorneys about things that you've uncovered and people you've talked to, because that's literally not their job. You know whose job that is, or will be a post-conviction attorney, which currently doesn't exist because you didn't want them to have it. It's just, I'm so frustrated with the selfishness of everyone. I'm not just talking those people. I'm talking a lot of people and attorneys and everything. The selfishness is so off the rails, and the person that gets the shit end of the stick and suffers every time over and over and over again is Rick Allen. Only Rick Allen. It's shameful. And especially if in one breath you're going to say that an innocent man has been convicted and is in prison for life. Don't say that when you're constantly getting in the way of actually getting him some help. Stop saying that. It feels very Lauren, hidden true crime. Feels very like that. Very much like that.
Right.
Like, get over your fucking selves.
Well, I don't know. I guess it's like, is it about you, or is it about, like, not you as in you, but is it like to anybody who's thinking like, If what I'm going to say is about me, then maybe I should think about it as like all encompassing, like how does this affect the mass majority of people?
Right.
Like, does the mass majority of people care if I have this or don't have this type of thing? You know what I mean?
And also, like, you're not the only, if you ever think that you're the only person that has things that the general public doesn't have, like, you're out of your fucking mind. You're not the keeper of all things. People should not be like begging you to give them information. Like, if you have the information, just give it up.
Right. What? Yeah. Why gate? This is that whole gatekeeper thing that we talked about at the very beginning of covering Delphi. Is that's like what people want. It's like, I'm the only one who can do this. I'm the only one who can do that.
Yeah, wrong.
So I'm going to gatekeep all of this. And instead, it's like, stop doing that. If everybody wants the truth, which is supposedly what everybody wants, then why not just put the shit out, to the world?
Yep. Well, because the excuse then is we can't say everything we know in case, or because there'll be a retrial and it can be used in a retrial. And while some of that is true,
No.
okay.
Not the way that they want to go about it. Not in an appeal. You're not going to. None of that stuff is going to matter in the retrial.
You don't want to get like, okay. So for example, you don't want to give up your notes, right? You want to help Rick Allen. You don't want to give up your notes. Is it just that you don't want to give up your notes to the people that are offering to do the post-conviction investigation for free, but you'll meet with some other rando public defender that's going to get assigned to him for a retrial, or for the post-conviction?
I'm going to tell you, well, any of the attorneys that are going to take it on aren't going to care about that. They're going to want to look at it themselves. Nobody's going to give a shit about notes. They may ask, like, tell me like your 5 most important things that you found or you think you found, or something along those lines. But they're not going to look through pages and pages of somebody else's notes when they can spend that time looking through the pages and pages of actual information. But that's it. I mean, I got to go pick up a kid from gymnastics. So I got to wrap it up. But
good. It's probably best to cut me off before I'm taking some ibuprofen because my mouth is starting to hurt. Motherfuckers. Get me riled up. Can't stand it. I'm so tired of it. It's like, hello, Richard Allen is sitting in prison. Do you not give a fuck? Like, is this really just about attention for you?
Just like, why not just put the facts out and like leave it, let it be the truth be the truth. Veronica's like, good thing I'm not on mic with Sleuth. You want me to put you up here and you can handle it while I go?
No, bitch. It's 10:47. Let me go to bed. I got to put a kid on a bus in the morning.
All right. I'll keep you guys posted on what we have planned next. And if we can get our hands on any of the depositions from the requests that have been put in. So
yeah,
I'll talk to you guys soon. As always, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I know you have 1,000 other places that you could spend your time, yet you choose to spend your time here with us. And we love you for it. Thank you.
See ya. Love you. Bye.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops, no one